As my son Davis said in my Mother's Day card this year, Mom, I really don't like Nintendo. Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, party. Making pancakes, making pancakes.
People have on their Instagrams, like, like chefs, like in your case, like foodies and or places to go, or general normal interests. I have electricians.
Sir, it's an interest.
Network.
It's not an interest anybody
engineer.
shares, but it's an interest.
I mean, but if you see the stuff they post, they'll post like, look at this beautiful cable managed network, and I'll be looking at it like, wow, that is fucking beautiful, man. That looks fucking sweet. I wish I could do that. That's kind of amazing.
There's just something about order. Is that what you just said? Oh,
yeah, organized. Yeah.
Like, there's something about seeing it all in order.
Yeah,
there's a certain
perfectly managed and beautiful. Like, yeah, man, this is art. This doesn't look like chaos.
That's exactly what feng shui is, bro. That's all about. Feng shui, man.
I should get that in there. Yeah, but that shit has you like, I'm all about symmetry or asymmetry. Sometimes I do prefer asymmetry, but not like forced. Like when they have to tell me like, no, this needs to be facing the sun because the energy. That's the part where that's the part where
feng shui is your own thing. It's it's just basically, just putting shit in balance, and for you, it's your balance. You know what I mean? And so no, it's not pseudo-scientific traditional practice originating from ancient China, which claims to use energy force to harmonize individuals with their surrounding environment. You know what I mean? You know your own feng shui. You know your own energies, and that's more important.
Exactly. Shit, what have I done? Oh, man, I should be prepared one of these days for this celebration.
Sir, it's only been 270 episodes. I feel sometime soon you will be.
Let's see. What have I watched? Absolutely fucking nothing. Okay, next. I did play several things.
Did you? Okay, I was gonna say, sir, if you play Final Fantasy VII again, just stick to the new shit. to any new, I don't know, observation or something. You don't have to go through it again.
I don't intend to, but there's really not much.
Are you actually checking your PlayStation to see what the hell you've been playing? Dear Lord.
No. No, shut up.
For the record, this is all being recorded at the moment, so we can always play it back for the audience.
You open Steam now and it's just porn.
That's what my wife is saying. She's, what is this Steam thing here that's installed in your computer? I was like, honey, it's not like that.
It's a porn streaming service.
It's got all the new and best stuff. You really should check out the hentai section.
No. Also, avoid the furry tag.
Oh yeah. It's not about cats. I'm just saying. It's not about cats.
It's definitely not about sport mascots. I'll tell you that.
Although sometimes it is.
Nope. Oh man, my list looked more impressive than what it really is. Now that I put it on the list, it's like, oh man, you know what? I didn't even really play this. I was just joshing with it. So just check it out.
Just turn it on to see if it runs.
It's testing the speeds basically. So yeah, that doesn't count. Oh man. All right, I'll talk for like 3 minutes and then hand you the mic.
All right. Let's get her going. Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that, of course, is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 270 of GG's Mouthful Podcast.
The episode where we dedicate the entire podcast to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh yeah!
Oh shit! It's the remake of a podcast from back in February of last year.
Yes, exactly. Well, first of all, GG!
There it is.
There it is. Yes,
without the GG.
Yes, Mr. Mad Dog does not want me to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake anymore. So
well, I didn't say that. I feel like words are being placed in my mouth.
In lieu of him not liking Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is what I heard. I heard you hate Final Fantasy VII Remake for some reason. Like you thought that was the worst game that Square has done.
No, nowhere
something
near
like that.
Is, yeah.
No. Honestly, you're ambivalent on it. You're like, I mean, you were very excited at the beginning when it got announced. You were emotional. Then when it got released, you were very happy.
There were tears involved, guys.
Yes.
For sure.
And then when you were done with it, you were kind of like, okay.
I'm done. That's good.
Yeah, I'm done. Good. I feel like I went the opposite route. When it was announced, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
No, when you were like, that shit's never gonna fucking happen.
That shit. That's true. That's true. It's like that is they're not doing that. Yeah. Come on.
They are so pulling your leg at this point.
Yes, come on. I heard that Final Fantasy 13 though. That shit's gonna be awesome.
Oh my god.
Final Fantasy 14, even better. The MMO. Woo, man.
Nailed it.
Sir, what are we doing here? What is it that we're doing this show?
I don't know. I mean, I feel a little off. It's been an interesting week.
To say the least.
To say the least. It has been quite, and it's a shame because, Monday being a holiday, it was a nice day, at our respective places of employment. Because everyone just assumed it was hey, it's July. It's the July 4th. Or the day that everybody, what do they call that? They observe it, and so I was like, all right, well, everybody it was just a nice chill day, and then all hell broke loose from Tuesday on, and man, what a week, guys!
It rained and it poured, and we had a hurricane on top of that.
We did, technically, yeah. Elsa, Elsa.
Yeah.
Disney's Elsa. Fucking Elsa from Disney decided to come joder a nosotros.
Joderlo. Yeah. It wasn't frozen, though. It was hot as fuck the entire time.
Yeah, this is Elsa's stepsister. I don't know.
Evil twin.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, it was obviously, I mean, we're craving this moment to start because it's always, it feels great when you can just finally uncompress from the weekend and do the Friday podcast. And I know you guys are listening to it on Monday because I probably took forever to upload it, and I apologize in advance for that. But the thing is, it's Friday. It makes you remember what the Friday you had. So we were relaxing, and then the fucking podcast wasn't working. My microphone was doing shit. I don't know. It didn't want to work. For 20 minutes, we were trying to figure out, okay, is this happening today? Because of course, it would have been the perfect way to end the week.
I think we both had resigned to it's probably not going to happen. This is the perfect way to end the week. We can't even freaking podcast because technology once again gets in the way.
Technology gets in the way.
No, nothing stops the signal, and we
That's right.
Are
That's
still
right.
here, guys.
That's
Thank
right,
you. Very good. Nothing stops signal. We are here for your 270. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, please first go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone.
With everyone.
What we normally do, guys, is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot
This
topic.
week in Final Fantasy VII Remake. We're not talking about that. Sorry.
I have a feeling this is going to come up often. Nintendo Bombas.
Oh, la bomba. Ay, qué rica, eh. Oh, that's not the bomba we're talking about.
I mean,
This
sure.
bomba stinks.
For anyone who doesn't know what bomba means, honestly, you just write it out. You can figure it out. You don't need to really know Spanish. You can just write it out and go, oh, this probably means bomb. Yes, it does. Good job.
Yeah.
Yes, Nintendo bombs. Yes, Nintendo doesn't always. Actually, they do fairly well considering.
They do really well. They have a good track record. Don't get me
they have
wrong.
a better
This
track
is
record
not-
than of all the other console manufacturers.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Or do
Ding-ding-ding-ding. That's what we're gonna find
That's
out.
the reason, yes. For they have laid the occasional bomba, and we are here to exploit it
Yes.
and throw it in everybody's face because that's just how we do. But before we can do that, we first have to go into what we have been up to, sir. What
Sure.
have you been doing?
Shit. I forgot that name, that RPG that I was playing from Square. God damn it. Forget it.
Something with a remake?
Yeah, no, it was a remake of something, but I just can't remember. Anyway, probably not important. The other game that I was playing, actually, believe it or not, is Star Wars Squadrons again.
Oh, that's
But this time I was playing on PS5. That's right. Game's available on PS5, and you should have downloaded by now. I hope you tagged it.
I did tag
you
it.
to.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did tag it.
excellent. That game was free on PSN. I want to say
PS Plus.
PS Plus. Yes. Was it last month?
Yeah, last month. So was it last month? Maybe it had been the month
Maybe
before.
the
But
month
if it was
before.
recent, and if you didn't get it, well, you missed out.
Yeah.
But
You
as I
missed
always
out.
say, tag everything. Who gives a shit?
I
Just tag it all.
can't tag everything though. There's some games that I'm like, oh yeah.
Just tag it. You never have to
no,
download the shit. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but people will know that I tagged it. Though.
Who would know? You've never downloaded it.
I don't know.
It doesn't show.
There.
It doesn't show that you're an owner of it. I can't see that
That's
you're
true.
an owner of it. Yeah, unless you access it, and then it'll pop up into your trophy list.
What if?
Then
Exactly.
ahora sí te jodiste. And now everybody knows that you're a bug snacker, my friend.
I'm a bug snacker, if you know what I mean. I have no problem playing games like House Party, but bugs, I draw the line at bug snack.
That's where I guess that's a bridge too far right there. Okay.
Yes, no, that's AO. So no. I should preface this by saying I did test it a lot of PS4 games, and the reason I did that was because I recently bought a hard drive, an SSD drive for the PS5. I was kind of getting annoyed to the fact that I was starting to have to delete games when I forget what was it that I was that I was installing. I think I was installing Final Fantasy 14, and to that now because I didn't even play it because Square makes it impossible to enjoy those type of games. But anyway, I was getting annoyed by not having enough space, and then I noticed a lot of the games that I've actually retained that I haven't uninstalled yet are PS4 titles, and I was like, well, Sony made it possible to offload those games to an SSD or to a USB drive or whatever, but you probably want to do it with an SSD better, like an external one. And so let me go ahead and buy and test to see how it works. I heard good things about some of the models of SSD. Most SSDs run great. Hard drives though, they tend to be slower, but surprisingly enough, accessing PS4 games on an SSD on an external SSD is sometimes faster than actually accessing directly from the internal NVMe SSD. Not that it's gonna make like a major difference, but it's good to know that you're not getting hampered by going the external route. Now, you cannot install PS5 games on an external hard drive, unfortunately.
Oh.
And it makes sense. The reason is that they want the PS5 games, for the most part, should be taking advantage of the write speeds of the internal NVMe SSD that it has. So it is expected that those games access, the potential, the faster SSD that the PS5 has, and that they wouldn't be able to be as fast on going through the USB connection.
Mhm.
The USB connections on the back are more than capable of transferring fast data. So it just is not that fast for what the PS5 is. Well, the PS5 games are accessing the hard drive. Those loads ridiculously fast.
Mhm.
Dude, not for nothing, but accessing. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Final Fantasy VII remake. From not loaded to fully in the game, including title screen appearing and all that. Probably like 7 seconds.
Damn. Nice.
It is. I mean, that's the internal. I'm talking about the PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII remake, but that's just
Oh,
to
that's
show
just
how fast it is.
in-house. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was running from the thing.
No. I should have actually. I should have installed the PS4 version and run a test that that way. Maybe I'll do that and report on it. Or maybe I mean, I'm sure Digital Foundry already beat me to it. So
Yeah, but do you want to share the video? Or do you want to make your own? That's better than theirs. Come on now.
That's better.
Where's
than
your
Digital
showmanship,
Foundry.
sir? Where's your showmanship?
No, man, no. I got my limits. Anyway, all of this to say that I will highly recommend getting an external hard drive. Now, I will not recommend doing what I did, which I thought, I used to have 2 terabytes on my PS4, which was not an SSD, but it was kind of like a hybrid technology, whatever. It was 2 terabytes. So I'm thinking, let me just get a 2 terabyte SSD, external SSD for my PS5, and that shit ends up being ridiculously expensive. Number one. And number two, you are never going to need that much space unless you are literally putting all your PS4 collection and all the games that they have given you for free on PSN, and you're downloading them all. And I'm not doing that. And also, I'm not keeping this one also. I intend to trade it for the one. Not trade it, but to exchange it, if you will, or the 1 terabyte version, because I feel like with the 1 terabyte, all the games that I've downloaded, which is probably like 6 or 7, and they're probably occupy like less than half the size. Because I mean, it's 1 terabyte, and also you're mostly not gonna be buying a lot of PS4 games nowadays. Maybe a digital, especially. You might get them through PSN, and that might be a good reason. The other reason I did this is because I like to have exposure to the games that I own, so that so when I'm looking for something different to play, I don't have to like try to remember the games that I own. Especially on PS4, there are games there that I'm like, oh shit, I do own fucking Resident Evil 7. I should probably play that sometime. Or, oh shit, I own Gris. Why haven't I played Gris yet?
I don't know, bro. I've been asking the same question. Shit.
I know, right?
Final Fantasy 7, dude. Come on. I mean, you see, I'm talking about Final Fantasy 7 again. Fucking Resident Evil 7, bro. That's
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, you got to try it out, man. You don't
I
have
need to play Resident Evil,
but you got to give it a good, the old college try, man.
Yeah. No, I intend to. I tagged it for a reason, and shit, I downloaded it already. Far Cry Far Cry 3 Classic or something like that. I didn't realize that I owned that, and I don't remember that ever being on PSN. So that must have been, or PS Plus. That must have been like a sale at some point, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of want to play Final Fantasy." I mean, shit, I want to play Far Cry 3.
I swear to God.
We can't get remake out of our heads.
Apparently, shit. Oh my God.
But yeah, preliminary testing suggests that you guys should really consider, especially if you're having space issues already on your brand new PS5, and it doesn't look like Sony's gonna be allowing upgrading the internal drive anytime soon. This might be a nice stopgap, for that.
Okay.
And yeah, so because of that, I downloaded Star Wars Squadron because I wanted to test it out and I wanted to have my experience on the big screen rather than playing it on the computer. And I gotta say, I was actually surprised at how well it runs. Of course, it's a PS4 game running on PS5 hardware, so at this point it's expected that it better run smooth. All right,
I agree. Yeah.
It better, So it runs really smooth. The game it's still fantastic. It's very, very fun. Playing with a gamepad, because on the PC I play with an actual whole task joystick, and on this one I was like, well, let me try to see how it feels on the gamepad before I could recommend it, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it. It is very intuitive. I mean, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit to get used to because it's not a first person shooter, but once you get used to the maneuvers of the ship with it is really good. And the game has a decent story, And if you're well, I was gonna say if you're a Star Wars fan, but how many of those do we have left? Am I right?
How many have not been burned from recent events? I haven't. I'll give it the whole college try because I got it from PlayStation Plus and everything. But yeah, that's what it is. I feel like just I don't know.
It's a good Star Wars. It's nothing of the bullshit of the new trilogy or anything like that. It's just the good old tie that you remember and the X-wings and stuff like that. Some characters, yeah, there was a little bit of like wokeness on the whole thing that it's kind of like, oh man, really, like it's so
wokeness or wookiness.
Sadly, not the latter, but the former. Yeah. Not there's no Wookiees on this one, unfortunately. But there's a lot of wokies. Anyway, it's still really good. I still wholeheartedly recommend it. And shit, if you tag that you got it for free, like what are you doing? Once you're done with whatever it is that you do, just pop it in and try a different experience and see if you like it. If you ever had that fantasy of being an Imperial pilot, in my case, because fuck the rebels always and forever. I do not enjoy playing the rebel campaign. I do not enjoy it. But playing as the Empire killing or the rebel killing Empire, yeah, hell yeah. So, but I've talked already about Squadron. I'm just here to say it's really good on PS5. PS5 hardware. It's probably good on PS4 also because it's not like that game. It's like super super duper on the graphical. It just it looks.
I got you.
Yeah. It looks as it should. It probably could look better if they make a patch only PS5 patch and take advantage of some of the PS5 prowess. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But yeah. The other game that I tried was Hollow Knight, believe it or not.
Oh. First time?
Yes.
Oh, Scheisse.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Respect. Respect. All
Hollow
right.
Knight. It's not a recent game, but I've heard it being described as the best Metroidvania ever made, and better than Super Metroid. Like I literally saw that, a couple times actually. And me being a big fan of Super Metroid, it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to play this. I guess I'm gonna have to try it. So at first, I bought the PC version, and then the controls, everything felt great. Obviously, it runs very smooth. It's not a game that require. I mean, it's a game that looks beautiful,
Mhm.
but it doesn't require like a superpower machine,
No.
or does it? I don't know.
Well, I was gonna
Because
say I don't know. I have to look it up. I feel like I remember hearing the Switch version. Visually it looks great, but it may have some
Mhm.
framiness
Yeah,
occasionally.
yeah.
So I
I
would
feel like
definitely
that
say, yeah, you would want with that particular
a
type of game.
beefy.
You just want it to be running at. I mean, I'm sure they can optimize it. They just need to optimize it for
Well,
the
that's the
Switch.
problem. The game so this actually all started because I started seeing YouTube videos about people creating games in not Unreal, but the other one, Unity.
Unity.
Yeah, and creating, we'll have 7 days to create this, a game in Unity, and those videos are actually quite interesting. I ended up enjoying watching them, the whole creation process from conception to actually making a game. Of course, in 7 days you can't create anything that is superb, but you can create a pretty decent mobile game that will probably net you $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was like, okay, what other games have been made in Unity? Because I've heard that obviously this is a very famous game engine, and what they show here that they could do looks pretty basic. Not basic in the sense that it takes no effort, but they have only 7 days, so it's not like they can do a lot, but it looks kind of a little bit Spartan, I will say. Um, it turns out that no, this engine has been capable of creating some like gorgeous and unique worlds, like incredible games
Mm-hmm.
and some beautiful stuff. But it doesn't seem to be like the most optimized engine there is. So a lot of those games have some performance problems. And what I was noticing when I was playing the PC version was that have you played the game, by the way?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I never finished it, but I went pretty deep.
Okay, all right. So what I noticed is that there's a satisfying feel whenever you hit
Mhm.
something with it, right? Someone with your weapon, and it always like it's super super responsive. When I was playing on PC with my gamepad, but whenever I will hit enemies, not always, but every now and then, I will notice there will be like this stutter,
Mhm.
and or whenever I it let's say I will fall from a height, and that he lands, you don't get damage, I don't think, but you land pretty like
You land with
heavy.
a thud. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you get those thud sounds, like the game will stutter a lot, and then it started getting like very framey for a few seconds,
This
and it
is
was
on
annoying.
PC.
PC.
Oh
Yeah, it
shit.
was on
Okay.
PC. It was on PC. No reason for it to be running that bad. I got so upset because I was enjoying the game quite a bit, and I had already put like 2 hours on it, and I got it on a Steam sale. I paid, I believe it was seven. Actually, I paid $11 because I heard the soundtrack is really good, and they were offering the bundle with the soundtrack. I was like, well, let me just pay the $11 for it, even though I think the Steam sale had it for like $8 or something like that. Um, anyway, I got reimbursed because it didn't work, and I was like, fuck this, I'm not gonna have this experience. But I still wanted to play it. So I got it on PlayStation for the normal price. I think it was
Yeah, I
$14.99.
was gonna say
I
it's
want
not
to
that
say
much to start. Yeah.
no, no, exactly. So I was okay with it, and I was playing it. Now the game runs great, but now I'm noticing the this will be imperceptible to you because you didn't play you didn't have the comparison with the PC version. But I notice lag when I'm using my attacks, when I jump, like everything feels not laggy in the sense of unplayable. Like it's not that bad. It's actually completely. I mean, you said it. You got pretty deep, and the game is completely fine with it. It just like I noticed it doesn't have that split second. Like the moment I'm pressing that, I'm feeling that the finger pressing down on that button is already swinging the weapon.
Mhm.
It's most like it mostly feels here like I press the button, release it, and then he's swinging the weapon. Although not as bad as I'm describing it. I'm probably doing a poor job on describing it. It's not bad, guys. It's not it it doesn't make the game unplayable. I'm just saying like I really wish that it was uh, 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 as um, as quick as it felt on the PC version. Yeah, the problem is the PC version, of course, it'll get super slow down, and on the PS5 version, or PS4 version that I was playing on the PS5, there's no problem. You can just you can play it all the way, all the way to the first boss. I didn't do much. I didn't say I spent a lot of time with it. I said I played it, and I got to the first boss, and he started kicking my ass. And of course, it's not super difficult when all things considered.
It's the first boss.
It's the
Yeah.
first boss,
Yeah.
but as you're playing the game, like nothing in the game indicate. Like I've heard the game is it's challenging,
Mhm.
and I was prepared for it. But as I started playing the game and you start encountering these enemies, that you quickly dispose of, you're like, well, there's really nothing. I mean, this is the tutorial area most like because there's nothing here that is particularly like super challenging. It just feels like a normal Metroid game. That's great. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. So I was not ready for the difficulty spike from attacking regular enemies to attacking the first boss, which is close to Dark Souls level of difficulty. Now, first boss of Dark Souls, which admittedly he's pretty easy once you know, but while you don't know, it can get a little daunting to first encounter him, right? So I died a couple times, a couple third times, and I was like, nope, I'm going back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fuck this.
I'm going back to the tried and true.
This is not what I said down. What I signed up to play, and I know, but I left it in stock because I know I'm gonna go back because I liked it. I really fucking liked it. It has this.
It's an excellent game. It's an excellent game. It is definitely so. It is something I think a lot of people because every time the genre like it falls into a genre, right? So people go, oh yeah, it's definitely a Metroidvania, and there's no denying it when you look at it. It looks and runs just like a Metroidvania would normally do, but it does also fall into the category of Souls-like because it does have that element where you have you're essentially expanding out the way you normally would. So in Metroid and Castlevania, when you expand out the map, you're doing it because you're exploring. Here you're also exploring, but you're also surviving long enough to get to the next point so that point is not always open for you. You know what I'm saying? So it has that Souls-like feel to it. So I think it's a little hidden for folks who don't know. I knew when I was getting, which is why I already kind of dig those type of games anyway. So but yeah, it so let me tell you, the reason I stopped really wasn't because I got tired of it. It was like I was ramming my head against a wall with a particular boss, which was much later into the game. And I was like, son of a gun. And I know what it is. I know it's as with any of these, it's about getting the rhythm of what's going on. But the rhythm on this one, and I won't spoil what it is, but the rhythm on this one it's just a lot of moving pieces. And I think it's one of those situations where I'm ramming my head against the wall. I need to put the controller down and step away. You know what I mean? But I don't have a lot of time. You know, it's like when it comes to game, I don't really have a lot of time to do this. So it's like, and I don't know. I just at that point I was like, I'll come back to it eventually, and I never did. But
No.
it's downloaded on my console now. FYI.
Nice. No, but tell me what this type of games I don't necessarily, unless it's something like, oh dude, no, you really should experience for yourself. It's super, super cool. But if it's more, if it has to do with like gameplay, like you could tell me like, what do you mean when you say it's a lot of moving parts?
For this boss fight, it's a lot of moving parts in the sense that there's multiple players, multiple enemies, and it's a boss fight. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of things happening at the same time. So you got to be able to dash quickly, and it's one of those things, you're gonna get hit. You just have to accept it and make sure you're I mean, that's what makes it Souls-like. You know what I mean? It's like with a lot of these games, Metroidvanias and stuff like that, you're trying not to get hit. And for the most part, you can pretty much, when you master an area, you go through the area and not get hit. That's not really the case in sure, you can do it in a Souls game, you know what I'm saying? And there are plenty of people who do, but that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? You almost walk into these areas knowing I'm probably going to die here or get hurt along the way. So it's just the accepting of that's just the nature of the game. And this is a similar, this is like in the sense, Souls like, so it's not as I guess dramatic as a regular Souls game is, but it does have those elements. And one of those elements is a slew of boss fights. You know what I mean? There's a lot of boss fights you get into, but that's not unknown for Metroidvania. You think of Super Metroid and Metroid, you had a lot of boss fights. Maybe not as many as you would have now with most of these games, but back then, you think of the Ridley boss fight. You think of the other one who took the entire room. I don't know if you remember Super Metroid at all, but he took the entire room, and he was just that big. And when you first get there, you're like, "What the fuck? How do I fight this shit?" You know what I mean? That's the same. That's the same feeling that you get, and that's all they're trying to do is recreate that feeling in Souls games, and they do it here as well. So I don't know how many bosses there are total, but it's a good amount. So when you move to a new area, you're gonna at some point randomly encounter a boss, and now this is the boss, and you just got to take them out. And they're very well done. I'll give it that much. They're very well designed, very different. Each one challenges a different skill. You know what I mean? Like one's going to require you to dash a lot. Another one's going to require you to move a lot. You know what I mean? And or look at multiple angles. And I love shit like that. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
But the like I get that. I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of it because of those type of games. Because I honestly, I'm sorry, guys. I don't have time to get good. I'm gonna play the game for entertainment, and it's just gonna pass. Like I don't care about bragging rights. I don't care about saying, oh, I beat, I beat what's this game, Hollow Knight or anything like. It's mostly for entertainment. So if you
game for entertainment.
Yeah. So if you spike the difficulty, if you spike the difficulty to that level, you're telling me that it's gonna get exponentially that. Like I don't care. I'm not gonna care now that you call it the best Metroidvania. I'm just not gonna get into it because I don't want to play a Dark Souls Vania, or a Metroid Souls.
Yeah, that's an actual word used to describe the game. Yeah. I
don't want that genre.
No, I got you, and I hear you. It's not for everybody, but I would definitely say that even with Hollow Knight, my time with Hollow Knight wasn't ever to prove that I was just interested in that world because it's such a beautiful and beautifully designed world.
I get that. I know you're not playing it. I know you're not playing it for hardcore gamer. Like I know that's not your intention. I'm saying more in my case, like the patient level for that kind of those kind of games is relatively low. Like I got as far as I was able to accept in Astro. The fuck was that game called?
Astrobot?
No, Astral. Oh,
Game?
what the hell? No, the one that the one with the loop. Forgot the name.
Oh, Returnal.
Returnal. That one.
I'm like Astro.
I was close. Not at all. I got as close. I got as far as I was able to muster with it, and sure, I could have just continued and gotten better. But at that point, like I'm not enjoying what I'm doing anymore, and I'd rather be playing something else. So I just jumped to something else. So in the case of this type of games, like I prefer, like I like them. I love Metroidvania games when they offer me like a level of difficulty like a Bloodstain did. Bloodstain Ritual of the Night was like phenomenal. Like I fucking love that game. It's more about the exploration, and sometimes I even enjoy the moments where I don't know where the fuck am I supposed to go because I'm exploring everywhere, but I'm still progressing. I'm still getting stronger, and that's the thing, a feeling of progression still, and not having to worry about, well, if I die, I'm going to lose everything all the progress I've made. And I don't have to worry about that.
Well, you saw in this game, and I think this game actually has it to a step further, where when you die, all your whatever, I can't remember what it is right now, but whatever your
souls.
currency.
It's your souls.
Whatever the currency is. But when you go back to the spot, you have to kill the thing guarding your thing. So it's like, oh, well, shit. Why not just make shit harder? Why not? It's like, but it obviously. I mean, that alone, can makes the callback to. That's why I say it's a Souls like, where just people don't realize it or may not even know. And I'm not trying to in any way stir you off of it. I still feel you should give it a its fair chance.
I want to see how far I can get. I'm still not tired of it.
With any of these, it's always those first few are meant to sort of train you to just to understand. Okay, you have to use it. That dash button you have been using, you gotta use it. you remember this button here that does this, you gotta do it. You know what I mean? It's like it's designed to force you to use these things so that as you progress, you're constantly using it. And those things just get, it just becomes easier and with time. But I hear you. I don't want to discourage you in any way.
No.
But sure.
But, like I said, I'm still not done with it. I'm saying I had a good time with it, and it's still installed. So I mean, fuck, I have to turn up. I don't think I ever had to uninstall any PS4 games anymore. No, I'm not kidding.
And that was what
a
gig.
That. That one, that was just like a gig only. No, that's it. That's all. I mean, I play Sonic Mini if you want to hear about that.
I don't but not because of anything other than because of shit about Sonic. No, but did you play a lot of it, or was just jumping in to see it? Okay,
I was jumping in to see it again.
I mean, I did toes here and there. Okay,
I feel like I did a lot, kind of like I did with Sekiro, except that I told you about it because I wanted to I wanted to give you my first impressions still early, and like I really like what I experienced with that, and I intend to play that again to go back.
How were because you only played it at one time? How were your parrying skills going?
With this one, well, the first peasant literally killed me before I realized, like, oh, wait. But once I knew
with Sekiro?
Attack, yes. That little first person that approaches.
That is awesome.
But it was when I realized that, oh, wait, I was hurt. And they gave me the tutorial about, hey, you might want to heal up. And I didn't do it. So I was still like a sliver of life left, because you start with a sliver of life. And that's what the game shows you. Like, no, dumbass. But once I got...
Exactly. That's exactly how those games go.
Go, dumbass. Exactly. But once I realized the error of my ways, then I'll say that I was actually I was not button mashing or anything like that. I was waiting for them to attack and then and parry, and I felt good. Felt really good.
Good stuff. It's actually not bad. The way they have it designed there,
Yeah.
it's really, it's not like any other one where you're almost reaching somewhere else. Your finger is already on it. You know what I mean? You just have to
Yeah.
time it and push down a little bit. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's really well designed. I swear that's why it won Game of the Year and Game Awards. I get it. You know, maybe not the most prestigious award, but
Hey,
still,
here's the fucking Game Awards. Come on.
yeah.
If,
I mean, think about it. It's a popularity contest, and
if you don't
yeah,
celebrate
yeah,
that, I mean, what are
yeah.
you gonna celebrate?
I hear you. The Dice Award? No. BAFTA?
GameStop Game
No,
of the Year.
GameStop Game of the Year. Too.
I mean, I meant to say Bombcast, but yeah, it came out of GameStop. Okay.
Nice.
Anyway, sir. That's I didn't watch anything unless I mean I watched I'm still watching the Loki
Oh, okay.
and yeah.
So far, so good.
That's the show.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know.
It will continue. Hey, it's more than I can say about Falcon and Winter Soldier. All right, am I right? So yeah,
Good to know, sir.
I'm not gonna go into that again.
Oh my god. Well, so I honestly I've just been playing Dark Souls 3, and where I'm at now, I just took out the second Lord of Cinder, and I honestly thought, I was like, okay, this one's because I'm actually doing pretty well. I once, twice, maybe I'll die, but by the third one,
3 times the
got
lady.
yeah, but by the third time I got it. It's like, okay, I see the pattern. But with this last one, dude, Aldrich is a bitch. You know what I mean? I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing?
This is the one that's gonna undo you.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was gonna do me. I was like, because the funny thing is, on my second attempt, I had him. I had maybe 2 hits on him, he'd be out.
Oh wow.
But one fucking he had this move where he shoots one arrow into the air and it rains arrows like he's a fucking Spartan. Just I'm like, how the hell does he do this? You know what I mean? And there's 2 phases. So the first time it just kind of goes in a wave. So if you move out of the way of the wave, then it's like, all right, past you. But on the second phase, no, that wave's like tracking you now as you're running around. You know what I mean? And you're like, what kind of bullshit is this? And you get caught in it, and that's it. You get caught in it. It's just, you have to not get caught in it. And so, but on the second attempt, I could have took him out on the second attempt. It wasn't for that shit. And then from there, it took me like another 10 attempts, for me to finally take him out. But I'm not going to spend time on this one here. I am still really, really enjoying this. This is really what I needed. I just feel like I was missing a really good, challenging, sure, but just the type of game where it's just, there's something. I was on we were on a group chat. It was me and Chaos. Shout out to Chaos. And I was fighting one of the bosses, and it was just an annoying fucking boss. Another one that was annoying. And dude, when I took him out, dude, I had literally yelled like, woo! You know what I mean? It was like, it was just, and it just happened. I had to get up and go check on my mother-in-law because it was late. And I was like, fuck, okay, she's all right. You know what I mean?
Woke her up, damn it.
But dude, it's just one of those things. And this is a fair one, right? Because we've all taken part of games that are challenging because they are designed to be unfair. They're designed to purposely be hard, while this one is just, it's not. It's hard because it's hard to master. You know what I'm saying? But it's not because it's unfair. It's not because it's taking advantage of something that you can't do. You know what I mean? And once you get the thing, it's just like so freaking rewarding. And so that's really what I've needed. And that's why I have some, games that are coming up here, and I might just get them to, if they have some sort of early special deal, like sometimes Sony does that, where if the game's coming out, they'll knock like $5 off if you get it immediately instead of waiting. I might do that, but outside of that, I'll wait. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I am all in on this one, and it's all I've been doing. It's literally all I've been doing, and
That's awesome.
it's all I want to do. You know, it's like you remember. I think we were chatting early in the week, and I'm like, you know what sucks? That I can't fucking play Dark Souls. You know, that's what sucks right now.
I could be playing Dark Souls right now. And
Yeah.
instead, no.
Fucking life has to get in the way, and I gotta fucking work and shit. Anyway, so that's what I've been playing. I have watched a few movies that I wanted to kind of go through. I'll start with the one to get out of the way. I'm not entirely sure if I mentioned this before, so I'm gonna just throw it out there. I saw the Fate of the Furious, which is the 8th one before F9, before the one that comes out in the theater.
I lost count. How many? It's gone so fast and so furious that
it is ridiculous. This one, I think I did mention it last week, so I won't. I don't know why it's on the list. Maybe I checked into it twice by accident. I think I'm like almost remembering now. I feel like I may have mentioned last week, but anyway, I saw Fate and the Furious just in case it didn't. Still fun, really, really crazy. Really, really crazy. At this point, it makes sense why they're flying in F9. I'm like, okay, you know, so it's like
at this point it makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
so
because it's like it's escalating every chapter. So when you see the trailer for F9, you go, okay, so now they're on what looks to be a DeLorean with a rocket pack on it. You know, it's like, how the hell did they get there? Well, as you watch them through, you go, okay, of course, you got to keep escalating.
Of course,
just only makes sense at this point. But it's still fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely park your brain at the door, enjoy for what it is. I am getting a little tired of all the Dom memes. For the record, I haven't seen F9, but apparently that family must be a huge thing in F fucking 9. You know what I mean? But I'm getting a little tired of those. So people who are still posting that shit, please stop it for all of us. The next one I saw is a movie called The Zookeeper's Wife. And this was obvious. If you don't know, this is my wife's pick for the record.
Okay.
But, you know, to be fair, it's actually kind of enjoyable. And of course, it has Jessica Chastain, which is just this beautiful woman. So obviously, you know, we're going to love that. But anyway, it's funny. From the title, you wouldn't get this. But eventually, essentially,
no zoos.
Yeah, you'd get that from that. But the keepers of a zoo in Warsaw have to save hundreds of people and animals during the Nazi invasion of World War II of Poland. You know what I mean?
Wow.
From that name, never would have guessed Nazis have anything to do with this. You know, it's like, whoa.
Not only that, but like, what is your wife looking at that she looks at this like where does she find this stuff? Like, no, seriously, I can't even make the joke right. I don't even know what to say. It's like, this is the most random thing that you could come up. It's like, honey, let's watch, let me see, random zookeeper Nazi invasion movie.
So, for the record, she's very big on based on a true story. And this, believe it or not, is based on a true story.
As everyone should imagine.
Yeah. So this obviously takes place in Poland shortly before the Nazi invasion. It shows a lot of the ghettos. I don't know if anybody knows the Jewish ghettos, but they kind of rounded up a lot of Jewish people, and they just kind of put them in the ghettos, like an area that was cut off from the rest of the. So there's a lot of that's going on, and the zookeeper and his wife Jessica Chastain, they start to sort of save some of these folks and hide them within their zoo, because they also live in the zoo, on the zoo grounds. So the zoo grounds is fairly large, and they have a large house there, and obviously they have these rules. Hey, you know, don't come out during the day, stay out at night, whatever. And some of the folks, they're able to get out, you know, but they can't do that often. And other ones don't want to go, so they just kind of hang there. And it's actually pretty good. Overall, it's a pretty good story. I can definitely recommend it. It is, I don't want to say it's low budget, but it's a little low budget in the sense that you can see the budget. Like, this is the slightest of spoilers, but there's a section or a moment where the bombings are happening, like in Poland, and they're in the they're in the zoo and the bombings are happening, and you hear the planes, but the camera never pans up to actually show you the plane. You know what I mean? You just hear the
Oh.
yeah, and then the bombs blowing, and of course, there's explosion here and there. But anyway, the point is to say you can tell that the budget was limited in what they can
Modest.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so, but that's okay because it's not really what the story is about.
Right.
And it's overall, like I said, it's actually pretty good. I liked it. It's not as great. I mean, it's no Schindler's List. Schindler's List is an excellent film. But it just does have its moments where you're like, oh wow, it's just this is it's serious. And the main question that always brings up is, what would you do if you had that scenario? Would you just let things be? Because they were going to the Germans were using the zoo as sort of an encampment. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So and that's really what they were going to do. So you just let them do their thing and not worry about it, like, screw it. Oh well, we're German. They're not going to do anything to us anyway. Or do you try to help the folks? You know what I mean? And
Mm.
it's a difficult question. It's one that everybody goes, no, I would try to help. Yeah, but would you? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Especially when you see, a traitor can easily just be shot just for being assumed a traitor with or without proof. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, would you really though?
Yeah.
So I liked it though, overall. So that's again the zookeeper's wife, Jessica Chastain. In case you didn't hear that, I'll say it again, Jessica Chastain. But yeah, so that's a decent one. Oops. And
I
say again.
no, no, I was just gonna say, don't close your section before coming back to me, because I just remembered there is a movie that you guys want to know what I thought about, because we made an arrangement. Remember that arrangement?
Oh
I forgot to
yes.
mention.
You know what?
Yes,
I was literally going, I swear there was something else that he had watched.
I know. Me too.
Yeah,
It felt like
there
there,
was
there was.
something
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
to watch, and
I
I can't remember
did
what it
not
is.
write it down. Yeah, I did not write it down. But please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just didn't want you to finish the segment.
Okay. Well, the last one I saw here, and another one that I can highly recommend, although I recommend it because it is probably one of the more humorous films that I've watched, and that is The Paper Tigers. And think,
Oh,
I think this may have been either runner up or one of our trailers of the weeks. But
oh,
basically,
I don't remember it
if you
though.
don't, yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't remember, it is three kung fu students uh, who were under a master, and this is in the 80s. They were trained by this great master of theirs, Sifu, the guy called Sifu, and I don't remember his last name, but Sifu something. And so they were trained by it. Were the only ones that this particular master trained, and they grew up in the 80s, where again kung fu was a huge thing back in the 80s. And they were always doing these little challenges. They were known as the three tigers, and they were
Mm.
undefeated. Whenever they did a challenge with another group of people or another school or whatever, they were undefeated. And so fast forward, and it is like 30 years
30
later,
years later.
and they're like,
as you say, I'm looking at the trailer, by the way. Sorry.
oh,
I'm
okay.
looking at the trailer. And as you said, so fast forward, the trailer shows 30 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not in shape anymore. One of them has actually the main guy, who's probably the main champion, hasn't fought in forever. He's like a dad. Hasn't,
Mm,
and then you have another one who is a little bit of a stockier, I don't want to say chubby, but a stockier guy who has a bad
mm,
knee. And then the last guy you can see, I can't remember his name, but he's a black guy. He's like big and built, and you go, oh, well, at least you got him, right? Well, he's
yeah.
MMA. He hasn't done kung fu since he was a kid. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So, and this movie throws a little bit of a shove at MMA. I'm not gonna lie, because you're like, because at some point they challenge because they have to do something. It's silly. It's Cobra Kai silly to an extent. Maybe not as far, because Cobra Kai can really get silly.
Yeah, come on.
But
Come on. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah, but it's still silly in the sense that you see, if you're looking at the trailer, you can see the fight, and you're like, this wouldn't happen in real life. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's mentions of the poison finger move and all this stuff where you're like, again, you're either gonna buy it or you don't buy it. You know, it's like, but if you buy it, you're gonna have fun with it. You know what I mean?
This might be my next movie right now. I have to see this.
It is actually pretty funny. And my wife watched it and she enjoyed it because she was finding it. She was finding it funny. And honestly, the humor comes from the fact that they can't do what they could have done, when they were young.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that humor in it. And at some point, you feel like this may get old, and it really does. And the movie's only like 90 minutes long. That's another thing. So it's a very quick pace. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It delivers what it needs to deliver. They're pretty funny. You know what I mean? The three of them, especially. Oh gosh, let me get his name here because I got to give respect to the dude Hing. His name is Hing. He's the chubbier guy, and he's hilarious, and he's the one who wants to do things all the time. You know, he's like, I'm like, dude, chill out, bro. You know. Anyway, this one I can recommend. I actually rented it on Prime, and I think it's like $3.99. So it's not even that much, but I rented. I was like, this was really well worth it. And so I was like, it's a shame because, like I said, I know I have all this backload of fucking movies I need to watch, but I saw that and I was like,
and
let me just throw
sir, thank you. Yes.
Yes. Pain and Gain. Yes.
I played it back. Yes. Especially, listen, your wife likes movies based on real life, right? So there you go.
Honestly, I think she's seen that movie. Honestly, I think she has seen that movie. I will find out, but it doesn't matter. Remember, when I get to choose if she saw it or not, it still gets played. But anyway, that again is called The Paper Tigers, which is even more hilarious. Like I said, it's like, of course, it's fucking gold, guys. And that's it, sir. So apparently, you missed out on something, an agreement.
Yes, but I didn't miss out the agreement. I missed out on bringing it here.
For some reason, I wonder.
Yeah, gee, what could it have been? I'm sure it wasn't the fact that I tried to forget about this piece of garbage. No. What can I say? If you guys don't remember, I last podcast, or before we did the podcast last week, we had made an agreement that I just wanted Mad Dog to watch Loki, just one episode, just to see what he thought about it. And you guys should listen to that episode of the podcast. So for his thoughts. But then I told him, you do that, and because I know you don't like doing that. You don't like just starting something and leaving it, there. So I know that it was, even though it sounds like a silly request, I know it's tall order for you. So I asked kindly and said, if you do this, I'll watch whatever you ask me. It could be Pulp Fiction. I was ready to, because I was ready to watch Pulp Fiction. I was like, okay, well, he's going to tell me, to get that out of the way. No. Motherfucker puts me to watch No Country for Old Men. And I remember him talking about this movie, well, vaguely. I don't remember actually, to be honest, I don't remember the specifics about what he said, because he did brought it up on the podcast and spoke about it. But I do remember, especially after seeing watching the cast, being like, "Oh man, okay, so this might actually be something interesting." It certainly has hell of a cast, has Tommy Lee Jones playing as Tommy Lee Jones.
Pretty much, yeah.
I feel like that's the only character that he can play. You don't get Tommy Lee Jones to play anything else other than Tommy Lee Jones. If you get him in fucking Men in Black, he's gonna play Tommy Lee Jones. If you get him in fucking Hunter for Red October, no, it was not Hunter for Red. What the hell was it?
Under Siege.
Under Siege. Yeah. anything like that. You get that same act, and that's fine, because God bless the man. He's top notch. Amazing. Yeah. He is amazing. I mean, yeah, Woody Allen there showing, as if it was some sort of secondary character there. Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Woody Harrelson. Sorry, yes. I got Woody Harrelson showing as if he was some secondary character there. You got, I don't know the name of the of the guy that was playing like the main villain, like the real
The guy who
big
plays
ugly
Anton
motherfucker.
Chigurh, his name is Javier Bardem.
Okay,
He is a Spanish actor from Spain, Spanish.
from Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, I seen him in other stuff, but he is intense. He plays that character intensely. I really liked what like as a villain. You told me, hey, this is you get an idea of what a real life Joker type of villain could be, and I was wondering like, wonder what he means by that because he doesn't look like or acts like the Joker, and then you see it in motion, and it's like, oh wait, okay, I get what your angle, and it's perfectly fit. I mean, this guy is kind of fucking deranged. I don't know.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Yeah.
you know, and that that said, I really enjoyed the acting on this. I thought every actor pulled their weight. Even the lady that was playing the wife to the main protagonist,
Moss's wife. Yeah,
Moss's wife. Thank you. Yes, I don't remember names. No, it doesn't matter.
Moss is the character's name.
Moss is the character name. Yeah, the wife. I thought she was great. Also, like everybody, like acting. I can see what it would have gotten like nominated, or if he even got nominated into that, it should have actually if it didn't, because I thought that part was
for sure it did
on
yeah.
Okay, but phenomenal, and that was it. That was all the movie gave me. Because unfortunately,
good actors, and
it gave me great acting. It gave me great acting on I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna go on a stretch here and call it a story. It gave me great acting into. I don't know exactly what this movie was trying to say, if it was trying to say anything at all. But I did not enjoy the movie. Actually, after that, I enjoyed the acting. But I did not care for spending 2 hours watching just random shit happening and then not going anywhere, then just credits roll.
So, random question here, sir. At what point did it start losing you? Like roughly at what point? Because you have to admit the setup is very intriguing. It's a slow burn, but it is
a very slow burn.
Yeah.
I think that's what I started noticing, that the movie was a lot slower than I anticipated, but that's that's fine. There have been movies that are like that, but they're not particularly my favorite. Yeah. I mean, I like more. You know what movie I fucking enjoy the most? The complete opposite of that. What would that be? What would that be? Oh yeah, Uncut Gems. Fucking Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Remember that?
I do.
That movie was like, okay, if you have like heart issues, you probably should skip this movie. And I'm not talking about the action is intense or crazy stuff like that. It's just that movie keeps you the anxiety. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But it's like it's great. I love that. I love that movie, bro. And that movie was great. It was a good movie. I'm like, Adam Sandler, like, are you kidding me? Like that was the joke. That was the joke. That was the Hideo Kojima joke. It's like an Adam Sandler movie and it's this good? Like, what the fuck, man? What kind of universe is this? This came out from another a planet. No, this one is the complete opposite. This one is like everything should have spoken to me. I'm just speaking of myself. I know it's a great movie. I recognize that. Obviously, it will had to be because it got nominated for pretty much everything.
Of course, yeah.
You enjoyed it and all that, but the story was very slow. So it was starting to get boring. Honestly, it was like the things that were happening. It is an interesting setup, but it was not happening in an interesting way. I don't know if I can explain that better. There were moments that kind of have you wondering, like, okay, what's going to happen next, maybe, but it was too few and far between. It mostly felt like it was the movie was just going through the motions, and it will introduce characters suddenly, and you will think, oh, this is great. Like, when they introduced Woody Harrelson, it's the only example that comes to mind immediately. And you're thinking like, oh, what is his role in this? Probably not fucking much. and
He's another. He's another Anton Chigurh, just obviously not as good.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I can't spoil what happens in the movie, but like, out of the blue, the ending just comes completely out of nowhere, and roll fucking credits. It's like, wait, what? You might as well you could have just changed it and put "an aliens invaded," and that would have been just as acceptable. Almost. It's like, okay, well, it's almost the same nonsense, because at the end you're just gonna roll credits in my face after 2 hours and not explain absolutely anything, or don't give me any, satisfying story. And you get and you say, well, it's the message is the how the world is, the level of fuckness that the world is. You didn't say it like that, but I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. Somewhere along those lines.
But then I'm like, well, I don't need to watch a movie to realize the fuckness of the world, because I live in the fuckness of the world. I see it every day. You just turn, news channel of choice, and it'll give me the fuckness of the world. That is, it doesn't get more real than that. No movie. It doesn't matter now how artificially they try to make it, how like levels of sawness they try to implement it. It's gonna be more fucked up than the fucked up reality that we live in today's world, and that we accept. A fucking broken healthcare system, fucking political demons that we idolize because, America or whatever, like the atrocities that happen in like, all of that is part of our reality. I don't need to see that shit on a movie. On a movie, I personally, this is just me, I like to watch movies for the same way that I like to play games. It's just escape from this fucked up, horrible reality thing that we call reality, that would have driven me insane if it wasn't for the fact that my wife keeps me grounded. Watching movies is just a sort of escapism. Like, I want to know an interesting story. Give me a good reveal. Give me a good what the fuck moment. Give me tell me the Atlas was Fontaine again. Well, not again, because he will not make the same, but still, it's still be kind of amazing. No, there's none of that here. It's just, hey, by the way, this world's fucked up, isn't it? So anyway, here's the credits.
What's funny is that, first off, this was also an experiment. And I don't recall you remembering. Yeah, this
bastard.
I mentioned it before when I was talking about it. When I was talking about the film, I think we spoke about it a few weeks back, because I had to rewatch it again, which I've seen it a bunch of times. And I was like, you know what? I feel like this should be a good experiment where, hey, you're gonna know before going into the movie, this film is not going to have your typical ending, and then of course I think at that point you go, oh, so there's no ending. Okay, good. I got it, and I was like, yeah, so it's an experiment I know. The experiment was, if you knew going into it, clearly you forgot that this was a conversation, so you still went into it assuming that was probably going to be a regular ending or whatever. But if you knew going into it, how would that affect your outcome on the other end? You know what I mean? Because normally that comes as a surprise, and it never fails. I have been in the sitting with my wife watching it, sitting with Jackie and Annie, and these, and it's always, it comes to that moment where I, as the viewer, know, oh no, they're not going to like this part coming up because it's going to end now. And they're going to be unsatisfied, and it never fails. It never fails. I always get that's it. And it's just like,
Dude, my wife was watching this with me, and she had the exact same. Like, she gave me permission to actually remember how I played. Like, I recorded a little bit of her rant, and I told you, and I told you, she told me, "Oh, we should play it." Like, she even gave me permission. I'm not gonna do it, but it's like a full minute ranting of like, basically, just say is like, dude, if you need to punish him,
don't include me in it. And I said, I was like, I didn't say this was a punishment, but that was, But anyway, my point is to say is I've come to realize in this experiment, even though it didn't satisfy the question I had in hand, it did answer a question that was sort of looming, and I don't want to get too much into it because I feel like I can definitely get in the weeds about this. And I think you even mentioned this should probably be a hot topic, so we should probably
make a hot topic on this. Yeah.
But my I guess the revelation that I realized is that you, your wife, my wife, I don't want to. I don't want to. I was gonna say I don't want to say it in a
United States of America.
I don't want to say it in a really negative way, but just
carbon-based.
For the most part, you guys enjoy the the typical 3-act structure,
Yes.
if you will, of a movie, right? And there are movies that, so I don't want to say transcend because some of them do fuck it up wrong. But there are movies who, for the most part, try to, expand on that. Or play around with it. And then, so the 3-act structure, if anybody doesn't know what that means, right? You have Act 1, which is a setup, right? It throws in whatever you meeting the characters, you're getting a little bit of the story, whatever, a little bit of their background. Act 2 is the confrontation. So usually towards the end of Act 2, you have the confrontations. Confrontation usually is, first off, the MCU is all 3-act structure for the record. Okay, guys,
absolutely.
That is every fucking film. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just pick any of the MCU and you have a 3-act structure. The setup, which is the intro, which is the first act. Second is confrontation. And of course, finally, the resolution is a third act. And in the confrontation usually is they're confronting either their worst fear, their nemesis, that's what the confrontation is. And then the resolve is to obviously get past that. So you guys for the most part enjoy that 3-act structure. And when something messes with the 3-act structure, it normally just feels like whoa, this is and it's not
like
two.
Cutting the third act or all together and splicing the credits there. Yeah, we kind of get a little miffed when
it's not. Yeah, it's not two. It's usually it goes more. And actually, there is. I had to look it up because I was like, I know there's a word for it that a lot of
laziness.
A lot of anime, particularly the Studio Ghibli. That they use often enough, and it is called, I'm gonna fuck this word up because I just Kisho Tenketsu, which is a different version of the plot structure, and it is a 4-act plot structure, but not the same way, right? It's not. You still have the introduction, which is the first part, development, which is actually the sort. It's almost like the introduction, but now you're almost developing history or some sort of issue with the person, and that's the development, right? The third one is actually the twist. Now the twist isn't always a twist in the sense of a twist. You know what I mean? Because generally in American films, the twist is the last act. That's the resolution's a twist. But here it's a twist, and sometimes that twist is not a good twist, or it's not the twist you expect. And in No Country for Old Men, if you will, there's a particular thing that happens towards that, 3/4 mark where it's like, wait a minute, I thought that was the hero. I thought that was what was going on.
By the way, I love the fact that you try to mask it.
I know.
But the way you said it, like, it fell flat. It's like, you might as well fucking say it at this point.
No, I'll leave it as is. And then And then the conclusion, and then that's obviously the fourth arc. And the conclusion isn't always the conclusion. It isn't the resolve. It's just the conclusion to this particular theme, And so I've
What
noticed
is it concluding though?
it's in this particular film, the conclusion is so we're talking about No Country for Old Men. So the conclusion would be the
spoilers, I guess.
Slight spoilers. Okay, so is the sheriff's character? He's been hiding from being part of this new world, and he mentions it in the beginning. I think that's probably the first time you hear it. And if you carry those words that he mentions in the beginning with you through the film, then you get where it's at the end. And even the guy he visits sort of calls him a coward in a little bit of ways. Like, dude, the world's always been this way. You're just getting older. This is the shit that you go through. But the conclusion basically is that's exactly what it is. He essentially, it was too much for him to handle, and he ran, and he couldn't do it anymore. And that's why he had that dream. You know what I mean? And again, I get it. Not the conclusion everybody would want, particularly in a film where it's all sort of setting up that there may be a showdown. There may be a showdown later on.
It looks like like a kick-ass one also at that.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I feel like when films go into a different structure such as that, and a lot of first, this is obviously a very Japanese version, but Americans and not just Americans, other filmmakers, you always kind of look at other stuff and say, "Oh, what are they doing? Let's how can I structure my film a little bit differently? How do I break free from that 3-act structure?" You know what I mean? Which again, there's comfort in that 3-act structure, but breaking out of it.
Does it work?
The what? Because it works. Yeah, because for the most part, it does work. Yeah. But at the same time, it's also a little predictable. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, you kind of already know. And I don't think we walked out of any MCU movie going, man, I didn't see that shit come, except for Winter Soldier. But because I did not see that coming. But
I mean, they are. What I'm like, I understand what you're saying about freeing this. Like maybe they don't want to make it a 3-part structure. They want to make it a 4-part structure. But at that point, the question begs like, but why? Like just for the sake of
to tell a different story. Maybe the fact that the pieces are laid in a certain way. So first off, one of the things, and I feel like we're probably going over on this, but
no, this is the reason why I wanted to make it the fucking topic, and now we're gonna continue.
So there's no news today, guys.
This is a 4-part
we are now in 4-part territory.
This is the topic of the week, which plot twist you didn't expect it. So.
Oh god, I already forgot what I was saying. But the whole deal is it's the film. No, you're fine. The film is, first off, one of the best things. And I know you say it's a slow burn. It's slow, and you have you and not just you. The royal multiple people. They have this thing where they are looking. Okay, well, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And these type of films isn't about what happened. It's what's happening at the moment. Take a look at the moment. What's the story telling you without saying anything? You know what I mean? And it does it so often in this movie. And at some point,
what's happening is boring, though. That's the problem. What's happening is just the guy is
because you're looking for action.
A hotel.
If you're looking for
like
action,
15 minutes to log into a hotel. It's like that's the shit that gets edited by a good editor when there's a story with 3 parts.
There's little things that are, for instance, all right. So just at the beginning, okay, just in the very very beginning of the film, spoilers again. Okay. If you or me, right? If you or me were to walk upon the scene that Moss walks onto, which was clearly a deal gone wrong.
Yes.
If you or I in real life were to walk upon this scene, would we do anything close to what he did?
I fucking wouldn't, because that looks like if I see that amount of level of dead bodies, I'm just gonna be continue walking away because I don't want to be the next one.
Exactly. So what does that say about Moss? What does that immediately say about Moss? It gets answered later on, but what does it immediately says about Moss? It says this isn't his first time seeing shit like this. You know what I mean? So immediately you go, okay, so he has history. So what could that history be? Is he a hitman? Did he already know this happened? Those are the questions that start rolling in. Later on, it gets answered, obviously, that he was in the military. He had his tours and he's seen a lot of all this. You know what I'm saying? So none of that freaked him out, but his mind immediately went to the one thing, okay, so this is obviously a deal gone wrong. Where's the last guy? You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that those slow moments are answering. I don't want to say you again. I'm just saying you're not realizing that that's you're looking at everything and wondering what's happening, but it's you're not realizing that's a question that's being answered. Or maybe you did. I don't know. I'm just saying for the most part, I think a lot of folks, they don't realize, hey, that was a hint at that in itself was a hint at who he is without saying, hey, by the way, this is such and such. And he had a history in, the whole exposition dump that we hate all the time. You know what I mean? So same thing with Anton Chigurh. I don't think anything outside of that first scene in the police station would clearly say, oh, this is the devil. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we need to worry about him. We don't know why yet. And those questions answer themselves as they go. But as they do, you realize, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I also mentioned to you in the text, this is also the way that the sheriff is viewing these things. You see, remember, because that's, I think, what's the part that's missed, that no, Moss is not the protagonist. He is a protagonist, but the protagonist really is the sheriff. And how do you know that? It's in the name, No Country for Old Men. He's an old guy, realized I'm not suited for this world anymore. And here's a tale of a crazy event that happened in my life as a sheriff that I to this day can't explain. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. And it's okay that that doesn't get to everybody. It's one of those things where just because it's that different, that's why I'm like that with everything, dude. This is why I love trying new fucking food, because I just want to see how crazy it is. I just want to taste it. Same thing with film. Same thing with games. Fucking indie games that sometimes I go, God, I don't know why I wasted $10 on this bullshit.
But see, like I said when we were going on our back and forth on text after I watched it, this is the type of storyline that we will destroy games for having like convoluted or nonsensical or ridiculous stories or not landing on the ending. Like this is exactly how this feels. This movie felt like, well, they just didn't know what else to invent and time ran out. So we're just going to call it an open-ended, which I fucking hate. There's nothing more that just irks me, that not finishing a story is now considered a form of art. It's like if I'm doing a fucking test for school and I decided to leave it at question 5 when there is 15 questions, and I just say, well, that's my artistic view of it, that this is the end. It does consider artistic. I hate that. It just feels like this is the person that I'm not like lazy it's not the right word, because obviously there was a lot of effort involved in all this setting and the acting and the writing and all that. It's just it didn't know how to stick the landing. So random fucking car accident, the end. That's not
the end, but I hear you. Yeah. It's like, the end. Yeah.
It's just like random event.
Can you
end? That's how it ends. And we would have destroyed a game doing the same thing.
Well, first off, we have destroyed games, and honestly, I would tell you right now, one of the games I'm playing right now is probably one of the most obtuse ones that has probably some of the craziest lore, and people love that shit.
Yeah, but we don't. Nobody's fucking enjoying the lore of Dark Souls. Nobody's just studying. It's not for the story. It's not for the story.
I shit you not. That is not true. It's the craziest thing. It's like how are I even had to go, how are you guys getting this? And I realized, there's a lot of reading in the fucking items and all that shit. That's how they're getting the information. And then you put it together.
Yeah, but the story. Dark Souls is not a narrative story.
No, it's not a narrative game. But I would argue, I think the example you use was Destiny as being we crapped on Destiny for this. I was like, we did, because
I don't have time to
didn't
explain
know what it wanted to do.
Explain.
Yeah, I mean, there's different. It's one thing to show you something and you have the answer from what is shown. It's another thing not to show you and not to tell you. And you're like, okay, well, something has to give you the next bit of information. So I agree with games that do that. Like for instance, think of Limbo. Limbo's a perfect example. Nothing is said, but you know that he's looking for his sister. And you know remember what the end is. Same thing with Inside. That's so that's another one. It's just like those are, and nothing is being said. Everything is just being shown to you, but it's shown in a way where you can put a story together with it. You know what I mean?
Limbo also didn't finish at me having a game over screen and then credits. Like it didn't finish like that. It had an ending.
Neither did this. This is like, that's what I'm trying to say about this one is that when you step away from it, you realize that Moss is not the main character. Neither is Anton Chigurh. It's actually the sheriff. You can actually sit back and say, so what we actually are watching or listening, depending how you look at it, is him tell the tale of the last
case
assignment that he had that made him leave. And
somehow he managed somehow the movie managed to make it in an incredibly boring way.
That is subjective.
Because nothing happened. Like there's you know what? All right. So the main thing is,
I love that we went off this little rant.
There is such a thing as the rule of three, the Holy Trinity, the unholy Trinity, or the rule of threes. Usually, beginning, middle, and end. If you start adding shit up just because you don't want to conform, that's fine. There might be people that enjoy that kind of shit. I'm not one of them. If you leave me in the middle and you don't give me a satisfying end, and by satisfying end, by no means I mean
a happy.
I want a good ending. Yeah. I want a happy ending. I'm not
Uncut
talking
Gems
about
was not a
anything
happy
like that.
ending. So
it was definitely not. And that fucking movie was amazing. So just give me a resolution, like Uncut Gems did. It didn't give me a happy resolution, but it gave me a resolution. Fucking Seven, I don't like Seven. I realize it's a great movie. That movie is fucking fantastic. I will be the first one to admit it. It's not a type of movie that I enjoy, but it is fantastic. And guess what? It gives you an ending. When it resolved, when it gives you something that I'm okay with that. Even if I don't enjoy it, even I say, oh well, this will, or even even if it's fucking Ghostbusters 2016, the biggest garbage that there has ever been puked out of Hollywood, it had a structure. Now, I'm not going to say the
structure didn't say
Ghostbusters is better than Not Country for Old Men, but I'm just going to say I prefer the structure of it than just not having something happen. If I would have known, if there would have been sort of a interesting resolution, because let's say, for example, just out of the blue, suddenly him dying on a car accident. Let's just say that. That still would have been. I mean, I guess we could have called it an ending, but it would have been just too random. It's
that's because
it's like having
the problem
an
here
Aliens movie, and then the ending was, a couple of people got married, and that was the ending. It's like, no. That's not what I'm watching the Aliens for. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So I think the difference here is that we're equating an ending with a resolution to the bad guy. Like, okay, so what happens?
Well, the resolution to the plot, not even the bad guy. Resolution to the plot you're presenting. The setting you're pretending.
The plot you're presenting is a case.
It's like
that was something he couldn't handle and so crazy. And guess what? The guy got away.
And he just gave up.
That's the plot. The plot is, hey, this is the story that happened, and this is why it happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I get, because the reason I brought that up because you also had a similar issue with Blade Runner 2049. Was well, what happened to this guy? Yeah. It's like, again, it doesn't. You don't always have to have a resolution with the antagonist to have an ending.
I need to have resolution because if there's no resolution with the antagonist, what was the point of giving me the story?
If you really think about it, think how much scarier the ending is of No Country for Old Men, knowing that he's still out there. And so if you want to,
why do I care? Because it's a movie. At that point, he's not really out there because you just told me an incomplete story is what I'm going to think about. Like everybody else that have had the reaction. That's it. Like they have told you. That's it. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Well, actually,
that's it.
yeah. I think that for this movie, because even I think my wife did react that way too for this one.
Yeah,
she has seen it multiple times.
Me and my wife, and it doesn't feel like it resolved. Like yes, it might have actually. I'm willing to concede that it said something. It said something. It was about Tommy Lee Jones. Oh no, okay, I'm willing to concede that. But that is not what I
that's not
wanted.
how it was set up.
That's not what I expected. That's not what the movie presented it. To me, to the whole time, it looked like it was not gonna be about. I'm a coward police person. It's like, well, you didn't have to set up all this, craziness and all this complex shit about the drug deal gone wrong. Like on the surface of what? Of just telling me that this ain't no country for an old man.
I think the first clue
that might have been the title.
No. I think the first clue that this was the kind of film you were going into was the image you sent me of the Cannes Film Festival.
The more
if you were expecting, a little bit more, I don't know.
The more,
what is it? Fuck is it? I was gonna say Sekiro, but not Sekiro. What's the thing? What's the thing with the cartel? Dear Lord.
Well,
with the Mexican cartel, and it has it doesn't matter. The point is that if you're expecting something a little more action packed, well, Cannes Film Festival should have given you your first hint, sir.
No, I think I said Cannes Festival, it's a warning sign for all intended purposes. It's like proceed. It's not even proceed with caution. It's like Serge's warning.
This may cause cancer.
This might not go well for you. Be advised.
Oh my god.
Be advised. And the funny thing is, they have been good. Like I have nothing against those type of. Well, I do have some things against those type of movies sometimes, but especially when they do stuff like that. But every now and then, I like to be surprised. I like Whiplash. Of course, it had a 3-part structure, and I enjoy all the structure of it. It had a particular. But that's what I'm saying. With movies from like this type of movies, it's like it's a toss up. It's literally like you might get something like that or something like Lady Bird, or you might get this.
Lady Bird is a perfect example of one that doesn't have a full resolution at the end. But you still
that's true. That is true.
There's no antagonist,
right?
Unless you want to count life as the antagonist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then that was pretty much her antagonist throughout the film, which is life in general.
Yeah.
So
the growing up, the coming of age, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. You're right. Lady Bird was a movie that didn't have the standard resolution structure like that, and I did enjoy it. So I'm saying, not all of them are bad. It's when I see something like this and it looks interesting, because dude, the only reason I'm ragging on it so much is the fact that
for sure
it looks fucking great. The acting on it is phenomenal. If you can watch this movie and appreciate just the acting, then I will highly recommend it, because it is top fucking notch.
Yeah.
So so if you can appreciate that, then that's great. But it was setting me up. I know you warned me. You told me, hey, this movie experiment, yada yada. I completely forgot, and I sat down, and the movie was setting me up. And the more and more I watched, the more and more I got concerned. Dude, I was at one point at the beginning, I was starting to get anxiety while watching this movie, because I don't watch all type of movies, and you probably know. I trusted you. At some point, I decided, because I was thinking maybe I should call him and tell him, can I watch something else, anything else? But because I was a little concerned with the not the material, but the subject matter, basically. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is the stuff like that. Like I'm telling you, man, I have nightmares about Mexican cartels. Like that shit fucking scares me more than any horror movies anywhere ever and ever. So I was a little concerned on that. And but as I continue watching it, it's like, well, less and less concern and actions, and just more and more bored. It's like, okay, get to the good part. It's like,
So I want you to take this information to the missus, so you can say you can clear it up and just say, "Oh, honey, I forgot to mention that this was actually an experiment that he wanted to do, and I have forgotten."
She doesn't.
Because if you would have presented that to her, then she would have made a decision at that point. They'll probably go, "No, probably not going to watch this," or gone into it with the same mentality, going, "Okay, well, this is an experiment by moment."
Yeah, she probably would have.
I mean?
She probably would have. And to be fair, I probably would have. And who knows? You know, it could have been. Don't do this to me again. Just fucking. I don't want to be a guinea pig again. It's just, it feels cruel this way.
Oh my god!
And that was the hot topic of the week. There you go. Bam on your face.
All in one shot, guys. We didn't even take a break. No breaks today, guys.
We're done. Yeah. No news. And wait, yes, we still need to talk about Sony's event and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we need to go in it.
All right.
We can't avoid it. So
well, I guess we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. All right. Microphone
check. Microphone. 1 2 1 2.
Check.
And we're back, guys. And he's still checking.
I'm checking my microphone. 1 2 1 2. Chuggabos. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, sounds like you are. It is time now, guys, for our trailer of the week. Yeah. By the way, we were watching this trailer, and I was actually enjoying the sound because I hit. So how we do this, guys, for listeners, basically we watch the trailer, but we kind of time when we start the trailer, so we were both watching it at the same time. But because you were showing it off to your wife, you had actual sound also coming through my headphones of the trailer. But the timing was impeccable.
Perfect.
Nice. It was like a perfect. Yeah, no, it was not an echo. It was a inline bass heavy. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
So I gotta say we nailed it. It came through very well. Yeah,
that's good. All right, so we synchronized, which is completely opposite of how trailer of the week when we say it.
Yeah, that's never synchronized. Nope,
yeah,
never will be either. So don't expect it ever, guys. Just saying.
Unless
we're live again. Once we're back to being live, I think together we'll probably be.
Yay!
Yeah, for sure. So our trailer of the week, guys, is The Witcher series, season 2, coming to Netflix December 17th, and that was a big ass.
I'm excited, bro.
I was gonna say, what you think of the teaser? It is a teaser.
It is a teaser trailer. Yeah, yeah. I think that I'm going to have to watch the first season again. Not only because there's a lot of things I don't remember, because let's be honest, it has been over a year. But also, I liked what they did with that series. I enjoyed it. Me and my wife enjoyed it quite a bit. And I would love to experience that again. Especially remembering a lot of the things.
Yeah, and I feel like you're going to be reminded, because I remember there was a little bit of a complaint, maybe not from you, but I remember. So the whole deal was from the first season was it's from one of the books, and the book is written in these tiny little short stories that Geralt is experiencing, and because of that, it's happening at different times. You don't know the timeline. And unless you read the book, you don't realize that that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this movie it's not like the movie says, here's, I don't know, 824 AD, and it gives you a sort of framing point.
No.
It does.
It's like
It's a
someone
series.
forgot. It's like someone forgot to put
Yeah.
the actual date.
But the book doesn't do it either. So it's not like they had a reference to go. They'd have to make it up because it's not like it's in the book. The book, I've listened to the audiobook. The next chapter is just this next thing, and
It just goes.
yeah, and obviously the episodes are those particular stories. So the episodes have their names. So that's really all you get. It's the name of the chapter, and it's whatever it is, the dragon and Geralt or whatever. You know what I mean? So that was confusing a lot of people, and I almost feel like that was something you guys were mentioning as well, which is understandable. Which is very understandable.
We weren't a big fan. I mean, it was we were not knocking it. Certainly not saying, this is bad. This is Winter Soldier. We were just more like it was just fucking confusing, and we hated the fact that we were enjoying everything, but certain sections we had to like think too much.
Yeah, because you were at the throne room at one point. I'm like, wait a minute, we were here at the throne room. How is that person already looking that big? It's just because it's not even telling you how much time is passing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's how
time we mean like years.
Yeah. Oh, because witchers and witches in this case age very, very differently. But it looks like they're moving on to a particular book, which is its own full tale, which would obviously be much better for viewers. You know what I mean, of the thing. Although I feel like there was another book, so either they're skipping that, probably because it's just going to feel the same, or they're just, or I'm not remembering the order of things, but we'll see what it. But it is a teaser. It looks very faithful to the first season as far as its level of dedication to set design and clothing and everything. It looks really, really good. It's clear it's early that they have not finished their special effects, so you didn't see anything of special effects worthy in this, which makes sense because they're showing this off now, and it doesn't keep coming out to December 17th, so they've got plenty of time to work on those special effects. So, but other than that, man, I think it was pretty cool, and I agree. I'm kind of
it sets up. Like I'm glad that that is coming back because of course, understandably, they had to stop filming due to the pandemic and stuff. And I was a little worried actually of all the silliness of the silly things to be worried about. You know how in between seasons, like characters tend to like grow real fast, and so because they are, what's happening in a matter of days on the show, it's actually filmed in like months and maybe even a year.
Stranger Things says hello. Yes.
so yes, I was worried about that effect, but and I don't know, maybe it's there. I will have to watch the first one again.
If that is the same actress who played Siri in when you can tell she's significantly not older, but she's not. I remember her being younger in the first season.
Absolutely.
So so if that's her, then unfortunately, but time makes a little sense here to a certain extent, but we'll see. We'll see what comes from it. So I'm excited for it. But so that trailer of the week, guys, is Witcher season 2 for the Netflix.
Yep.
All right, guys, so let's move into what the useless news that you can use we have for you. And we're going to start off at the top with the biggest piece of news this week, and that is Sony had a state of play this July, believe it or not. Just this was yesterday, and this is just my take. I'm not reading this for anything. A little bit of a letdown, but we'll go into specifics here with what they had. They had, I think they showed off about 10, maybe 11 total games. But I'm just gonna, I don't know if you want to I can random them off, or we can kind of mention one and then skip them.
Honestly, the way I watched it was I was still at work, so I didn't have time to just sit down and relax and stuff like that. But it had already aired, so it gave me the chance to, I'm not interested in this, or this looks boring, or whatever. Skip. So unfortunately, that meant that there was a lot of skippage, and I was able to be done with it in probably like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
I waited till after work and just threw it on. And it's only like 30 minutes long, so it's not like it was that much of an investment. So I just kind of going through what they showed here, and first and foremost, they showed off Moss Book 2, which is a sequel to the PlayStation VR title Moss, which, believe it or not, is one of the highly regarded VR titles. We don't play, you and I don't play VR, so I respect this as a good game. And this if they have more of these type of games, because this is not your first person VR type of thing, this is a little bit different. They have more of this stuff, I probably want to try VR a little more. My equilibrium really gets fucked up in VR. You know what I mean? So it's like this one is a little less taxing.
You haven't even been able to resolve that, therefore VR is dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. The next thing they showed off will actually be coming to PlayStation Plus, I believe, in August. A little title called Arcageddon, which was revealed at the event. Is an action game with a very Fortnite look feel to it. Yeah.
Yes, I saw this.
Yeah. It's a multiplayer shooter. Can be played solo or up to 4-player co-op. Maybe this is not it. I'm sorry. This one is actually in early access now and has a full launch in 2022.
Oh, okay.
Zero interest in this. And
No.
I'm going to be honest. I think we've said that here. And, I feel like the one thing that Sony needs is, to lock down a good multiplayer or whatever. This is not what I think either of us were referring to in this case. But
I don't know why we're saying that, because
they just don't have one. Yeah, they just don't have one.
I mean, they as Sony Corporation, or they as the PlayStation platform? Because the PlayStation platform has
that's what I mean. Sony Corporation is what I mean. Yeah,
oh,
like their own first party. Yeah, sure, Fortnite, right. And technically they own a little bit of fucking Epic Games, but they're not seeing a lot from that. You know what I mean? That's still, Fortnite. I mean, Epic is not really sharing that much of the pie on that. You know what I mean? But it's just to have something really internal and first party on that, and that's what I mean. Just because I feel like, the other parties are going to have. I mentioned that before. Nintendo has Splatoon. I get it. Splatoon's not your regular thing, but it is a multiplayer game. You have Smash Brothers, which is that shit's at Evo all the time. These are your, and by the way, who owns Evo? You know what I mean? It's like Sony just own Evo, so you kind of almost want to have something like that, and they don't really first party wise. Yes, they do have third party because everybody has third party.
Not for lack of trying.
No, and this is another. We'll just leave it at a temp for the moment. So yeah, the next game they showed off was Tribes of Midgard, which I still say it looked cool, but we already saw it at the kickoff event for Summer Games Fest. We saw it at the ridiculous Gearbox press conference. So nothing really new here.
Oh, I see. I was not impressed with this.
Yeah,
it's cool that it's coming out, but it looks like it doesn't look like a game that you need a PlayStation 5 to play. Like this could have easily been done in a PlayStation 4.
And technically you don't, because it's coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So it does come out July 27th. There are already mentions of having season 1 stuff coming. So apparently there's a big post-launch, and I think that's where they were kind of focusing here.
Gearbox, remember?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. I guess we'll call it the turd of the evening. Was Hunter's Arena Legends coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5? I don't know what this was, bro. I just know I was not interested at all. With what was going on here.
Yeah.
And hell, I think even the title is messed up. Hunter's Arena with an apostrophe S. So it's just an arena that belongs to one hunter. Okay.
And that's the problem. The moment you put arena on it, you lost me. Mm-hmm. You lost me completely.
I agree. This next one, they showed off Fist. It's an interesting name. Forged in Shadow Torch will be out September 7th. I have seen this game before. This is a furry game. I don't think you labeled it as a furry game. I
was, and I was like, oh, that looks like it has cool graphics. And then, of course, they show the furriness, and I'm like,
it is a 2D Metroidvania game. So this has actually been on my radar for a while. And again, it's cool. Nothing new. I've seen this before, so I'm like, it didn't blow me away on that. But it has let me see. There's a date revealed back. It was revealed back in 2020 for the PlayStation 4. September 7th coming to PlayStation 4, 5, and PC. And then from there they jumped to Sifu, which we've seen before. Fair, to be fair. However, this did get delayed now to 2022. According to the blog post, the creators did mention this was heavily affected by COVID, which is where the delay came in. But it is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Seafood is that fighting
Yeah.
one, right? That it had
At a
had an
very
interesting art style. When I say
Yeah.
interesting, not necessarily like a praise. It's more like
it's a choice. Yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's actually from the makers of Absolver, I think what it was called, which was another fighting game, which
Okay.
also had an interesting look to it. This one looks a little bit better fleshed out as far as a character design, not as, I don't know, simplistic as Absolver was.
No, exactly.
But it does look like it's definitely an
It's
action
stylized.
game. Yeah,
It definitely has stylized, and
Yeah.
who knows? It might be. It might be. 'Cause what is this? Is this a brawler of some sort?
it's a
or
brawler. Well, they're calling it a 3D action game, so it's definitely a brawler.
A brawler. Okay,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
could be. It could stand to be an interesting brawler with interesting. I'll check it. Like,
Oh, it's on my radar. That's
nothing
yeah,
here
it's on my radar for
is
sure.
screaming at me like from what I watch. But if it ends up being a decent brawler, then yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The next one here they showed off, which was called Jet, Jett, The Far Shore,
The fuck
which is
this,
being
bro?
developed by a small studio called Super Brothers, which kind of resembles No Man's Sky. That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, hey, we already have a No Man's Sky,
Like
we
a
already-
discount No Man's Sky. I would
Yeah.
say.
I'm still interested because I you know me, I like this is obviously a little indie title, so I'm still interested in it, but not like it blew me away or anything like that. It was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I tell you, and I remember Super Brothers. And I was like, man, I've heard that name.
Developer?
They have made a game. They have made a game. It turns out, yeah, they've made a game that probably in 2011. It was fantastic. It was actually a mobile game. It was the first mobile games that I played. Was Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah. I see it. Yeah.
Sword and Sorcery had beautiful sound, like beautiful music. Oh my god, the music of that game is phenomenal. It's one of those type of musics that it kind of reminds you of Super Giant games, as far as that quality movie. So if they can deliver that here, like I don't care about these visuals, like nothing here, struck me. But if it sounds, it looks like it's a merging of not just the visual sound also, and if they can deliver the sounds of something like they did with Sword and Sorcery, then I am all upon. Swords and Sorcery is not a. I mean, it has.
I have that game.
It's a pretty.
I have that on PlayStation 3.
Yeah. It's a pretty pixel art. It's pixel, but it's pixel art. It's not meant to be like wow graphics. Like it's kind of like wow pixel art.
Yeah. Decent pixel art for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Jet, The
No,
Far
this
Shore.
looks weird. This looks like, I don't know what to make. It looks.
It's got there's a little bit of a hook, or at least what appears to be, because you can get out of your ship. There is no battling though. You have to escape things sometimes. So there's it's very there's no significant challenge in that way.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of exploration. Believe it or not, from what it looks like when I think of No Man's Sky and look at that, they've mentioned there is no inventory management, which No Man's Sky is all inventory management.
The game.
Yeah. So that alone already goes, okay. So
Yeah.
all right. So it's piqued my interest, and I have seen the title before. I don't think I've ever seen any gameplay. So yeah,
We're brothers could make they could make something that is interesting. I don't particularly like the art style of the characters that look, they kind of look a little bit too
it's a choice.
Katamari for me, but
Yeah.
it's a choice. I'll give him that.
I kind of we'll keep an eye on that one for sure.
Sure, for sure.
But it is interesting. You're right. They've only made 2 games. Like that's it. They made
Mhm.
Sword and Sorcery, which you're right, 2011 says right here, and this one.
Yeah.
So 10 years, and this is what you've been doing. So good job. The next game they showed off was an extended Demon Slayer gameplay. Demon Slayer is actually based off of a popular manga slash anime, and
Mhm.
this shit looked like garbage,
Mhm.
bro. I was just like, I don't know what this
I
is, but
I
respect to
realized that.
anybody who likes it. But
Yeah, exactly. I realized it has its fan, and Demon Slayer. It's probably like the ultimate anime, but I wouldn't know because I don't watch that much anime. Not anything against it. It's just I don't have time. But the gameplay over here, it's like I mean, this
it's
looks
bad.
bad.
It's not only the gameplay, but the level design. I was just like,
All this,
did
yes,
they not
empty
make any?
corridors.
I was like, is this really what you guys are showing? I almost thought it was a joke, bro. At some point, I was like, this has to be a joke. There has to be something going on here because I was like, why does anyway?
This is what the dungeons on Persona 3 look like. And Persona 3 was a PS2 game. So
That says it all.
that's
Yeah.
it all. Yeah.
Good job, Sega. But good job, Sega. They we got to see a little bit more. Next game to show off was Lost Judgment, also from Sega, which will include a
Yes.
free next gen upgrade for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox. And of course, they'll showed off
Yes.
a lot of little mini games that you'll probably get lost in doing in that particular game. Interest on this one, sir,
Game.
because I know you like you
I
enjoyed the first Judgment, and
yes.
apparently they have solidified in saying that Yakuza going forward is going to be RPG, while the action brawlers will now be Judgment.
Judgment. Yeah, I feel
So
like they are well after 11 teen Yakuza's, I feel like they still they still want to use Kamurocho as the setting, so they don't want to get rid of all the
what a
assets that
town,
they
yeah.
have been using. But they realize that they need to change things up a little bit. So of course, with the success of Yakuza, and you cannot retire Yakuza. That's like a big title in Japan.
Oh no, for sure.
So
They'll be pissed off people all
so
about it.
and then people seem to be liking the RPG elements of it. So they're decided, like Namco Bandai decided to keep that as let's make that the crazy turn based, fantasy ish, Yakuza, if you call it that, and let's keep the brawler here in Judgment with this character, which Takeshi, I forgot his name, but the character, he is an interesting character. The stories are that those intricate murder mysteries, but it turns out to be even bigger than you imagine, and like the writing is really good, and I feel the games are going the extra effort of actually dubbing them in English. So it's not like Yakuza, which was sometimes a little difficult to follow because it was great acting, all that, but it was all Japanese with subtitles. But no, this one's they actually, except the last Yakuza, except the like a dragon, they actually put that in and make that in English. And they're in Judgment Eyes, like it's called over there. I don't know why, but Judgment.
Because Japan, bro.
Because Japan, exactly. Judgment Eyes. So Judgment is actually a title that I am very, very interested in. I'll be honest with you. I did not watch the full trailer of it. Obviously not because lack of interest, but because I didn't want anything spoiled.
Okay. That actually proves interest. Okay.
Yeah. It looks like the little bits and pieces that I saw, and even the mini games look phenomenal. Here's what I give this series: they make the mini games meaningful. Like they're not just brainless, not like nothing, like throwaways. I mean, some of them are, to be honest with you, but some other ones they could get intricate. They could be like their own game. So and they're optional. They're always optional. You don't need to do them. If you're doing them, it's because you're having fun, and at that point, like, could you be blamed? Because the game you blame.
Yeah. If you're having fun,
If you're having fun with it, it's like. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'm also really looking forward the next one that you're gonna mention.
Death Stranding director's cut,
Yeah!
which will be coming to PlayStation 5. There will be an upcharge for PlayStation 5 owners. It's only $10 for the record. So
yeah,
as opposed to $30, I think there was an upcharge for another game. I can't think what it is now, but anyway, so
Judgment. I did not get. I bought. I own Judgment, and I bought Judgment again on PS5 to play it on PS5 because the fucking thing didn't give me the upgrade for free. So that's probably the game you're thinking about.
No. According to this, Sega announced today's event with Lost Judgment sequel to the Yakuza spin-off featuring the private detective will include a free upgrade for PlayStation 4 and Xbox owners.
The second one, but the first Judgment.
The first Judgment did not. That's right. That's why they didn't.
So I bought it.
Neither is Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a $10 charge to upgrade on PlayStation 5. That said, there's a slew of new content, which they went over. Some training arenas, some additional story content, some weapon stuff that I saw, and I was just like, if I remember correctly, we don't want to use guns in this game.
Yeah,
but
what the fuck are you putting a tower?
There's a firing range, yeah,
like a fire, no, like an actual like a defensive tower. You can't use that shit.
I hear you. Yeah. There's new
events or whatever.
Yeah. The Death Stranding. yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to go to the next stranding, be stranded on the beach.
Yeah. Exactly.
You end up at the beach. You don't want to be at the beach.
Yeah.
Believe me, you don't want to be stranded in the beach.
There's also a racing mode, which was called Fragile's Race something, which I was just like, what are we doing?
No, that sounds like silly content. Yeah. That sounds like silly.
I'm not sure how interesting. It comes out, by the way, September 24th. Pre-orders available now, but don't pre-order. And I don't know how much interest you have in. I will go back. I will stand by my initial thing, which was I ended up falling in love with that game. I don't know if I can do it again. You know what I'm saying? And then, by the way, there's more story content. I'm like, so you're gonna make it even longer, okay? I just don't know. Yeah.
If it okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna stand on that beach with you because I say like, oh my god, I can't wait. In reality, I got Death Stranding on PC with all the support on PC and all the advantages, all that. I played probably 25 minutes or 30 minutes of it, and then I was like, but I played this already.
Yeah.
Now, granted, for all the quote unquote upgrades of the PC version, it doesn't have extra content. This has extra content, but it's like you said, it's like
it's a lot of unnecessary stuff.
You really want to do that? Exactly. Yeah. If it was fixed, here's the thing that could. If I read a review and it says that they're addressing some of the
narrative stuff.
No, they're not gonna address that.
I was gonna say
to fix it is to break it. So that is a beautiful destruction. So don't touch that. But although, hey, I would not mind getting some strands tied up a little bit. No, what I was gonna say is having a fighting system, but not really being able to use it because of what you call it's kind of like an unnecessary, pointless restriction. I don't want to shoot everything, but the game was very cognizant that this might get boring. So in between these levels, let's give them a level where they can shoot everything without any consequence. So they have to do that artificially. I really hope that somehow in the gameplay they manage, I don't know, some quality of life improvements, things that don't make it so tedious. Don't get me wrong, I don't want the game to be easy mode, now, but I remember playing the game. Some areas were just it was a chore. It was I don't know why I can't play. We don't know why we
don't know
play,
why.
Bro.
It's still an answer we have no idea to this day.
No.
But I will say
It was Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
like we were Kojima.
Maybe it is, but I mean,
Like, it was great.
I really did. I really, really
really
enjoyed
enjoyed it,
my time with it. Some cool stuff that they
$10,
have.
I'll probably jump on it. I mean, if it's $10, I'll check it out.
I mean, we already own it, right? And it's like, well,
yeah, exactly.
hey, honestly, for me, dude, it has to be. There is nothing on the horizon. It's like every game company blew their load, and there's nothing happening now for a while. You know what I mean? That's about the only way that I'm going to like say, okay, $10.
I don't want game companies to blow their load.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be so visceral on that.
I was a little too crass, and I am not going with you on that one. Sorry.
So no, they do have some environmental effects, also with DualSense haptic feedback. So that's also being upgraded.
Yes.
Some of the sound effects obviously are going to be 3D audio improved. Obviously, you have your SSD.
You're making a strong case for going back. Director Scott. Yeah, I'm gonna eat that shit up.
Tell me how it was, sir. That's where I'm at with that right now.
I won't have to, because you will join me too.
If only for the podcast that
was a surprise. Yes, that's gonna be. That's how you gotta justify it yourself.
You're probably right. Anyway, Sony obviously closed out the evening with an extended look at the new game coming out September 14th, called Deathloop by Arcane Studios, which currently is owned by Microsoft. Deathloop, believe it or not, remains a PlayStation exclusive on console. Again, set to release PlayStation 5, no PlayStation 4, 5, and PC on September 14th.
It's a time exclusive also, remember. No, they said it.
I know that they
said
the
trailer.
It. I know.
And we have a date. I have a piece of news that give you the date if you want me to jump on it.
All right. No, that's fine. We'll I guess we'll circle back around. That's fine. It's just weird that it's said sometimes and not said other times. Like, guys, what's happening here? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, say it already. You know?
They blew their load.
Okay, all right.
For your enjoyment.
I mean, yeah, I hear you. This one here, it was the last one, and you know, because the I don't know, the voice that introduced shit in between everything mentioned that this is what they were closing on. So this is where I forwarded to the very end, and I waited to see if there's anything at the end, but this one still intrigues me. I've already seen enough. I'm just like, I don't need to see anymore. It's like, just let the game come out. And so for them to finish on this one, it's like, I get it. It's right around the corner. You're hyping it up. But I was kind of already hyped. And at some point it gets a little, I tell you, I was like, there was one trailer that sold it to me, bro. I was just like, whoa, I'm not that I'm going to just buy in immediately. Obviously I'll wait for reviews on that, but my interest has been stoked on this. And, you know, you can see from the gameplay that it does share a lot of gameplay elements from the Dishonored series. No, Dishonored is Arcane.
And Returnal, which is not Arcane.
Okay, but I see what you're saying. Yes, the death loop, the time loop, or in this case, death loop. It does have that aspect of it. I don't know if it has a challenge behind it the way Returnal does, or the RNG, but either way, the point is, actually, it doesn't have the RNG. It's actually pretty scripted, so you just kind of have to figure out the script.
Just to clarify, we watched the same trailer, right?
We did. Okay. I mean, I have. I know, I get it. You had mentioned before that you're like, I don't know about this one, you know. So I get it, but it caught my eye. And the last trailer that got me was the one that was all oozing James Bond. I was like, all right, guys, you got me. I'm in. You know, I'm interested. But that's because of that. I just I literally just skipped everything else. I don't need to see anything else. I just need the game to come out. I need to hear a review, and if it's good, I'm in.
Yeah, I watched. I was like, I wouldn't say it was on my radar, but I was definitely curious of what this was going to be, because I told you, hey, I like the idea of the time loop, anything that has to do with time manipulation, stuff like that, sounds interesting. Because they usually lead to interesting reveals and stuff like that, which is why I enjoyed the most. After watching gameplay, the gunplay, the graphics, the way that the art style overall, I was kind of turned off a little bit by it. I was
not surprised, bro. You were turned off by Dishonored's art style. So
yes, no, I did not like Dishonored's art style. And to be honest, I wanted to like this one, but I realized this is just way too Dishonored, and now they're gonna fester that upon Microsoft. So good luck over there, guys. No. I'm joking, but mostly the shooting. Obviously I haven't played it, so I can't say how it feels, and I'm also gonna wait for reviews. And they say, "Oh no, this game's a fucking 9" and stuff like that. I'll probably still wait for you to buy and play it, so you can tell me because it will have to be fucking stellar. Because after watching that, the gameplay and all that, it did not look that great for me. Like again, another game that it's probably great, has nothing. It doesn't show me anything that says, "Oh, we need a PlayStation 5 for this, for this level."
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah. I don't see anything. I mean, it could surprise us with some sort of element in there that we haven't seen, but outside of fast loads, I didn't see. And I guess maybe some haptics, in the controller. I didn't see anything that the PlayStation 4 or hell, even the Xbox One couldn't handle. You know what I mean? But hey,
yeah. So I don't know. I'll give it. I mean, I'll see when it comes out. If both games were coming out at the same time, I would have still veer more Returnal because it looks more interesting.
Oh, for sure. I would agree. Yeah.
And I think Returnal's a great game. It's proven itself that it did exactly what it needed to do, and that game's awesome. That game is amazing. And guess what? This one is absolutely an exclusive. It's not gonna come out on anything else. We'll be blessed if it comes out on PC.
Well, Returnal? Yeah.
Returnal, yes. Which it could, because Sony. But
and
but we can only hope. We can only hope. In the case of Deathloop, well, that one remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see the outcome finally of that.
All right. I'll just get this one out of the way since I pulled it up because we were talking about this, but this was not going to be my next piece. It's just to say that Deathloop will only be exclusive to PS5 for 1 year, and it can head to Xbox in 2022. Deathloop is one of the few big PlayStation 5 exclusive releasing this year, but it was never going to remain only a Sony next-gen game. Now we know exactly when the exclusivity period ends. September 14, 2022. Mark your calendars, Xbox.
Xbox users, yeah.
In the latest Deathloop trailer,
honestly, if it is if it's a banger, it's one of those damn.
Yeah.
That year can definitely hurt. But it eventually it'll obviously come to Game Pass, so it wouldn't even matter anyway.
Oh yeah, at that point it'll go Game Pass. Yeah, you wouldn't even have to buy the shit. In the latest Deathloop trailer, which appeared at Sony's recent State of Play that aired on July 8th, a very brief, easy to miss, and I guess you missed it, bit of text at the end of the video officially revealed that Deathloop will only be a console exclusive to PS5 for 1 year. After September 14, 2022, the game can appear on other consoles. Something to remember, Deathloop has always been planned for release on PC at launch. It will not be hard to guess what other consoles mean in this context.
You mean not the Switch?
Yada, yada, yada. Exactly. Exactly.
Shit, if that shit can fucking handle this game, then why is it just on PlayStation 5? I don't get that.
Sad thing is, looking at it probably could do something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
If the Switch runs Doom, then
have you seen it? It's not
Yeah,
pretty.
I've
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah, it
I've
does
seen
run it.
Well, Doom Eternal, it's not pretty either, but it's not a slouch.
No,
It's not
and
garbage.
no, they're not ugly. I'm not saying they're
No.
fucking Doom 64 bad. I'm just saying it's in comparison between that and what we have. It's it's Uh,
Speaking
oh,
of Doom 64 bad. Oh, sorry, you
oh,
want to say something?
no, I didn't know you had the next piece. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, this was actually going to be my official next piece because I am so excited. Not. Assassin's Creed Infinity has been unveiled immediately after it gets leaked. Right?
This is a typical thing every year.
Ubisoft. This was actually revealed on Wednesday. Earlier on Wednesday, Bloomberg reported that the next entry of the Assassin's Creed series will be a live service game. Woo! Exactly what we wanted to hear, right? Shortly thereafter, Ubisoft confirmed the existence of a new Assassin's Creed project, known by its codename Assassin's Creed Infinity, because how original. The new project will be a collaborative effort between Ubisoft Montreal and Quebec Studios. And then there's a quote here that says, rather than continuing to pass the baton from game to game, we profoundly believe this is an opportunity for one of Ubisoft's most beloved franchises to evolve into a more integrated and collaborative manner, Ubisoft said in a blog post. So far, there are no details on Assassin's Creed Infinity. In its post, Ubisoft did not confirm the details of Bloomberg's reporting that the game will be a live service akin to BioWare's soon-to-be shut down Anthem or Take-Two's GTA 5. I love how Kotaku gave you both ends of the spectrum, the super, super successful and the soon-to-be deceased. Traditionally, Assassin's Creed games have been a single-player experience taking place in distinct, far-flung moments in history. The most recent one, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, took place during the Viking conquest of England in the 800s. Let's see. I'm just scanning to see if there's anything more interesting, but it's more the same. Anyway, just when fucking goddamn it, Ubisoft. Just when you were hitting your stride with that series, which was a dead series. I'm sorry. I know it was selling. When I say dead, I mean like creatively dead. Some might argue it might still be, but I will argue against it because I think what I will wholeheartedly agree. Okay, there was not a bigger hater of Assassin's Creed games than I was, and I'm telling you because I like what they were doing with the first one. I understood what there was a second one. I did not understand what there was a third one. I was flabbergasted to hear there was a fourth one. I was like, fuck this by the fifth one, and then the sixth one, and then they just kept going. By the time they got to Origins, which is like, oh, so this is the first one, then is what you're trying to say. I did not play it because I was like, no, fuck this. This is more Assassin's Creed, and I don't care. So I skipped on what was probably one of the best ones that they've actually had in recent years. And because, and knowing that, actually, that's not true. I knew that, but I also did not buy Odyssey. Odyssey was given to me for free for buying some sort of card. Usually, Ubisoft tend to do a lot of this. That's why you tend to hear me say a lot of, oh, I got this game for free. It's not like I don't have any connection, guys. I just buy computer hardware, and it usually has some sort of game promotion attached to it. Usually, video cards or motherboard tends to have that. So I believe it or not, owned a code of Assassin's Creed 3 for PC. If any one of you is interested on redeeming it, send me a tell because I have not redeemed that. Wow. So yeah, because again, Assassin's Creed, like who gives a shit? But Odyssey, I played it because I heard it was different and how they were trying to mimic the Witcher games and all that, and it kind of impressed me actually, and then it didn't have an ending. But still, I have fun with it. And I'll tell you what, I had so much fun with it that I was okay with Valhalla. again, I also got Valhalla free with when I got my motherboard, but I was okay. I would have bought it anyway because I enjoyed Assassin's Creed Odyssey so much that hey, I actually, and even though I own Valhalla for free on PC, I bought the PS5 version. One day they went down to $30 on Amazon. I jumped on it because I was like, this is a game I'm enjoying, and let me try. I got a new PS5 now. There's not a lot of games for it just yet. It would be cool to see how this game runs and maybe, play it here. And it turns out to be a great experience. I get to play it on PC when I want, and when I want to jump on PS5, it's amazing that I can pick up my save game and continue from there. It is awesome. So yeah, but now you're going the live service route.
Yep. Exactly what they've done with everything. So why not us? Yeah.
That exactly. And you didn't have to. You had the division. What is wrong with continuing the division? You are continuing. You're making the division. You're making a division free to play game for some reason. And you did the Assassin's Creed didn't need to be this. So I just hope that it doesn't I hope it crashes and burns and makes them go back to their roots, because I don't want all my games to be gas. I don't have anything particularly against gas games. Having played and being a fan of one of them in particular, Division 2, I like. Sorry, but I like it. That game is not nickel and diming me. The stuff that I have bought extra is because it has had value. Like the expansion, a great expansion that it was. But I don't want Assassin's Creed to be that. I already got the division for that shit. So
unfortunately, it will be.
That's what they're going.
Honestly, this is the time for everyone to speak with their wallet. If this is not where you wanted it to go, you did not want it to be a live service thing. You do not have to worry that if the server's not up, you can't fucking play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Then don't buy it.
Yeah, no buy. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way. They'll know, and then go, oh shit. All right, guys, we need to right the ship here, and we'll see.
By the way, side note, I love how we started this segment by completing dissing on what is arguably the actual big piece of news that started this week. And neither one of us have mentioned it just yet. And I don't know why.
Well, we'll see if we come around to it. Shoot. Spoilers. A new Nintendo Switch model has finally been revealed. And
let's start with the main piece and with the most important thing that has happened this week. Sony's event for some fucking reason.
It was yesterday. It's the freshest thing on my mind. What do you want from me? But the new Switch model, yes, has been revealed. Nintendo's Switch OLED model will release on October 8th for $349.99.
Wow, what's it gonna be called?
The Nintendo Switch OLED model. That's the name.
Yeah, that's the one. What is it gonna be called?
OLED. OLED for short.
Always the OLED. What is the fucking thing gonna be called?
That is it, my friend. It is called the OLED. Yep, Nintendo Switch OLED is a model. In the Nintendo Switch family, upgraded console. Upgraded is, I feel like we're playing fast and loose with the term upgrade, but upgraded, previously dubbed the Switch Pro.
Clearly, it's a big upgrade.
Is it though?
It's huge. I mean, they finally have parity with the PSP.
That doesn't even. I think you mean the Vita, but it doesn't even sell anymore.
Was it the PSP also OLED? Oh no, it was the Vita.
It was not. It was the Vita.
God. There you go. Even better.
Yeah. It's going to feature a 7-inch OLED screen, wider adjustable base stand, because we all use that. Enhanced audio, 64 gigabytes.
Substantially better now.
Yeah. 64 gigabytes of internal storage. So again, not a lot. And a wired LAN port. Woohoo! Wired LAN port. Yeah.
Finally. It's almost like they dawned on them. It's like, oh shit, that's right. We forgot the LAN port last time for online games. Oh, that's right. We don't know how to make online games, so I guess it didn't matter. But I guess a lot of people are bitching about it, so we might as well put one. Let's take out our USB port. So they won't notice.
They won't even notice that. The new OLED model comes with the Joy-Cons in two variants, neon red and blue color.
So new Joy-Cons.
New Joy-Cons, yeah. What did I say?
Brand new design Joy-Cons.
Yes.
No, I am setting you up, fucker. It is the same as a Joy-Con. It's the exact same thing with the exact same drift problem that they never attacked, they never fixed.
Well, we don't know that until that's released. I would assume that has been addressed somewhere, but we'll see. Yeah, I was gonna say we can't jump. We can't jump over that just yet. But yeah,
I'll put money.
Yeah, it comes with of course, the black dock. Pre-order date against October 8th. Here's some specs to wet the palates. Battery life 4.5 hours to 9 hours. I guess that would depend on the game you're playing. The screen, yes, 7-inch screen OLED is a 720 screen.
What?
And
still 4K.
No, you were lied to, my friend. Sorry,
I was promised 4K. I'm not leaving. I want to speak to a manager.
Okay, Karen. I think that the numbers may have been. Let me shuffle these numbers up here, and if I shuffle them up and put it in the right order, we still have
270 resolution.
It's still 720, unfortunately. Internal space, 64 gigabytes. It does go up to 1080 if you put it on a TV with HDMI. And of course, there's
like the PS3. Awesome.
Yeah. It is. So no, sir, there is no 4K, unfortunately. And I again playing loose and fast here with a quote unquote upgrade. This is for me who plays the shit dock when I do play. It's a lateral move. It's okay. Well, now it's not on Wi-Fi, but it honestly never bothered me before because if there's a game, I literally go onto my phone, buy the game, hit download. It'll eventually be there. It's like
no, you don't. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not about. Well, although it is also, but it was more about the
the online gaming. I know.
Yeah, but
because I play online gaming on my Switch
exactly
so often.
Splatoon, and
Lord knows. No one wants to deal with that, that interface as far as, getting online with your friend codes and all that other bullshit.
This is...
it's a letdown, dude. I mean, honestly, to be fair, though, I feel like
this is on the year. This is on the year as probably one of the biggest letdowns.
To be fair, though, I feel like media and us as followers of said media in the industry maybe souped our head ups a little bit here, in the sense that we kept hearing Switch Pro. Clearly, it has to be, has to be an upgrade. And Nintendo never said anything. Not like they promised anything. You know what I mean? It was so. I feel like yes, it's a letdown, but I feel like we kind of set ourselves up to be let down because we were hoping for something bigger. And in the end, this is Nintendo. We should have known better.
They should have known better. Yeah. I mean, Nintendo is about little increments and colors, and they still haven't released all the colors that they could release on this thing. Yep. So you can end up buying them all. And oh, by the way, this game is $50 less than a PlayStation
4.
Is it the PlayStation 4? Okay, PlayStation 4.
Not a 5.
I don't. Well, it's $100 less than the PlayStation 5 digital. No.
No. Wait, no, it was $400 for the digital. So yeah, $50 less than the digital version. If you can find it.
PlayStation 5. Yeah. There you go. By the way. So no, and obviously this one's gonna be hard to find also because we're still in the middle of one of the biggest chip shortages that we have had since the fucking 80s. And
since the invention of chips.
Yeah, no, actually, we had a chip shortage. Well, you're not gonna remember. Neither am I. But I was reading on some Nintendo history back then, and one of the reasons why Nintendo was so protective of having their seal of quality and their licensing agreements with it was because there were not enough chips also for the game, for the NES game. So because there was chip shortage around that time. But anyway, the yes, it is. We said ourselves, and we should have known better. This is Nintendo. I still feel like it is justified letdown. Well, actually, I take that back. I take that back. It shouldn't be a justified letdown. I'm still disappointed, but to be fair, yes, you're right. This is on us. We should have expected. We should have known. The Switch is not that old that requires hardware upgrade. We were thinking that, hey, 4K screen is gonna require more power, obviously. So if they're updating the screen,
OLED small screen, that would not be 350.
But yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. They would have made it. It is expensive as it is right now, and the moment I realized that, there's no upgrade on this for people that play their Switch on their TVs. Like it's the exact same experience.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, well, I'm not gonna bother because I only played my Switch sporadically, outside, on handheld mode. But for the most part, if I want to have the experience, I want to have it on my TV. And you're gonna tell me that I have a 4K TV to play a 1080p game? It's you still have the Switch. The original Switch does the same thing. So why necessarily bother at that point?
Honestly, I'm a little happy in the sense where I'm like, okay, I didn't just invest recently in a Switch to get completely trounced by a new Switch. You know what I mean? So to be fair, I'm one of those going, well, at least Lord knows how much longer this Switch is going to last, because I think it's already 4 years, right? So who knows how much more mileage? But then again, if you start releasing this quote unquote upgrade, clearly they have a plan to go on a little longer on it. So I don't know. I'm still happy. And when I say happy, I'm really just I couldn't even tell you the last game I played on my Switch. What's the last game you played on your Switch?
Ghost and Goblin, Ghost and Goblin Resurrection.
Oh, the Resurrection. Okay. Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Okay.
Which I now I have a PC, so I don't have to play it.
You don't have to play on the Switch. Exactly.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the Switch, great little console, it gave me the experiences that I wanted, and there's other than Metroid Dread, which I am looking forward. Which, by the way, did you know that game was actually announced like decades ago? Not announced for the Switch, obviously, but there was a mention of Metroid Dread coming.
Yes,
at one point.
And it was a while ago, yeah.
And it was, I
think it was early 3DS.
It was probably early 3DS.
Yeah,
that's right.
3DS.
Yeah. Like that Metroid never came out. Anyway, other than Metroid,
it will now.
It will now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another thing that I was watching, which I also found funny. You remember the really old cases of, when the ESRB, before they got established, when the company, I forgot who, I think the senators were going against Nintendo and Sega for marketing violent game to kids. And Nintendo was completely up their ass of the senators, going in a throwing but hardcore against Sega. I'm telling you, bro, that Nintendo was the teacher's pet put it mildly.
Yeah, there's no doubt on that. Yeah.
Howard, what was his name? Howard.
Well, the guy from Sega.
The guy from Nintendo.
Fuck, dude,
Nintendo.
I'm gonna find that shit right now.
Well, I'm gonna find that shit. Nintendo. Howard Lincoln.
Lincoln. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
So when it was his time to testify, he did everything in his power to shit on Sega and how he was saying he was appalled about games like Night Trap, his irresponsible Sega, because of course it's their competitors, so they wanted to just ground them to the ground, and they were not happy about their version of Mortal Kombat selling better than the Nintendo version.
I wonder why.
So yeah, so one of the things where they were showing Night Trap is like. And I want to make it clear, like I have a clip. I was gonna send it to you, but it was gonna be too out of context, and also we were mega busy. He clearly stating, and I just want to make it clear: a game like this, Night Trap, will never be. You will never see a game like this on a Nintendo console. And immediately, the next image that they put was. Night Trap for the Nintendo Switch. Like immediately.
Wasn't it the 25th anniversary or something like that?
Yeah. I wanna give shout out to this YouTuber that I'm following. That I have watched so many of his YouTube. His name is Scott the Woz. And he's a young guy. He makes this videos mostly about Nintendo and classic games and like retro games and stuff like that. And he makes it in a very humorous way. I'm not sure if it'll be the type of humor that you find amusing necessarily, but it is quite funny. I mean, a bunch of time he has had me laughing, and I really enjoy. And it was one of his videos, the one that talked about the ESRB, where it shows Howard Lincoln, stating like, "Oh, you will never see a Night Trap on a Nintendo console," and it immediately puts the image of Night Trap on the Switch. Wow. That was perfect. That was glorious.
That is.
Fuck you, Howard Johnson. My last piece, guys. It is Nintendo announced a new console. Oh no, we went over that already. Okay, let me see. Bottom of the barrel. Oh, here it is. Well, Doom Eternal, you remember the invasion mode that it was going to have. Well, that mode is no longer going to be done. It's being replaced by a horde mode because we haven't had too many of those.
No. Especially in the Doom.
Especially in Doom, yeah. It's so actually, I don't know if we have had horde mode on. Anyway,
it's every arena you walk into, bro.
That's right.
What the hell?
Okay, all right, you made your point. id Software has announced it has scrapped plans for Doom Eternal's invasion mode and will instead offer a horde mode offer a horde mode in its stead. Okay, that's a good sentence, VG247. The studio had planned to release a free invasion mode to Doom Eternal, but due to the consequences of the pandemic and remote working, development was impacted. According to id, it has also seen how much players enjoyed the range of gameplay of combat available in the Ancient Gods expansion and Master level. So it has decided to bring players a different mode instead, Horde mode. It is a new single-player experience that the studio feels will offer more of the, quote, the diversity and challenge, end quote, players have been looking for in the game. It's like you're saying, it's like, isn't every arena that you enter in that game a horde mode?
Very much. Because even at some point you're like, God, when is this going to stop?
Yes, I know. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute. You're rebranding here something, calling it a new. In addition, the team is continuing work on a refresh of battle mode, which includes a more competitive rank-based structure, a number of gameplay balances and updates, and another new map. More information will be shared during QuakeCon in August. So yeah, I'm playing actually Doom Eternal, the Ancient Gods, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I actually started it again because I'm not gonna play it in hard mode again because I just want to experience the game. I don't want to curse out and leave it in the middle, especially for DLC.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's short.
but it's very good, very well made DLC. I would say
I've
if you
considered
feel
it.
if you
Especially now
crave,
since obviously you can just get upgraded for PlayStation 5, but
yeah,
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know.
you gotta be feeling like just let me just play some mindless fun. Yeah, and not worry about story. No worry. Let me just tune my head off and
Yeah.
just shoot things. If you're at that level, then yeah, I will highly encourage you to grab it to play it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else myself, sir. So I guess we'll stop it right here. We'll be right back with our hot
Hot
topic.
topic.
And guys, we are back for our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I forget that this is not gonna come out synchronized, so it's gonna sound
No, it's
horrible.
not. It's really gonna, if we can synchronize it. I mean, editing, but is it really
the
worth
magic
it?
of editing?
Yeah. Yes. Hot topic, guys, is Nintendo Bombas, which again means bombs. And of course, we're just referring to, a couple of things that we wanted. And so I feel like we need to sort of preface this by saying what led to this particular thing. And I believe it has to do with a recent release from Nintendo called Mario Golf.
Yeah.
That
Nintendo Switch OLED. I mean,
yeah.
Mario Golf. It was Mario Golf.
Yes, not to mention the OLED. But yeah, so although I mean, hey, if we want to add a couple of hardware decisions that Nintendo has made,
there is definitely one that comes to mind that is absolutely
garbage.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, so seriously, Mario Golf. For me, actually, personally, I was very excited. That was going to be my next Nintendo Switch game, which I would play because I love golf games anyway. And the Mario Golf series has always been really good. But this particular one was not met with the high critical praise that, a normal Nintendo title would receive. And we all know this is a Nintendo game, so it's probably going to be, or probably going to remain at the $59.99 asking price.
Yeah.
It is clear that, so here's the deal. I think the clear part is that it is incomplete, but I don't think it's incomplete on or rather by mistake. I think it's incomplete on purpose because I feel like it's going to have just stuff later on, a season pass, if you will, to have additional courses. Because if you look at the prior Mario Golf, there were a lot more courses, a lot more stuff. Your normal Nintendo. I mean, think about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, how much stuff was in that when it came out? Mario Kart 8, how much content came into that when it first came out? And yeah, they added to it, but it was already stacked. It just became this ridiculously stellar thing. It feels like they half-assed this one with the promise of bringing stuff later. It's like, well, then it's not complete. It feels incomplete, because it's not living up to the normal content that they deliver. So if I ever do, first I have to see if it becomes like if I have to pay additional for all that content, or if that shit just comes free later on. So we'll see as far as Mario Golf goes. So anyway, that kind of brought up the topic as to, well, Mario, the house that Mario built is not perfect, and occasionally they have some flops, if you will. And so we're going to just kind of go over and, just put these in the back of your head when Nintendo mentions something, because I have a small suspicion that Metroid Dread is going to not live up to expectations. I know, I'm being negative. I'm being negative. And I'm not going to say it's bad. I just feel like it's not Metroid 4. Prime
No.
4, which is what we've been wanting for forever. And
But it's a Metroid.
It is a Metroid. It's also a 2D Metroid.
Yes,
One that's
which is
been
what Metroid has been.
Yeah, one that's been stirring for many, many years, which you pointed out earlier.
Yes.
So that is either good or bad. Because if I remember correctly, the last Dune Nukem stirred around for many years. and it wasn't the best when it finally came out.
I don't think. I mean, this was canceled. This was not like in the mix since like decades and decades ago. This was actually a canceled project. Which
Isn't that what Duke Nukem was too? I feel like Duke Nukem was like stopped halfway. Yeah.
Listen,
I know I don't want to keep bringing up Duke Nukem, but
this is Nintendo. If you play your odds right, I mean, Duke Nukem, like it was not looking great, and then Gearbox grabbed them. So
yeah,
no,
that is true.
that's you got to know how to play your odds. No, what? First of all, I want to clarify that this is in no way going to be an exhaustive list.
No.
There's also there's games here that you could probably actually teach us that they have been classic games that maybe they have not been they didn't got recognized or weren't particularly their best. But the ones that we probably could go over will have a significance, and some of them might have actually been changers. Game changers. Actually, I don't even want to use the pun. That's why. But yes, some of them might have been game changers in the whole strategy of how Nintendo market their next game or even their next console. And for the record, I do believe and I am excited about Metroid Dread, and I do think that game is gonna be awesome because it is an original Metroid. Even the Metroids that came out on DS were really good, and I don't see. And I mean, okay, listen, and we might as well throw the first one here, right? They already. Well, maybe not the one that you're expecting, but I was gonna say they already had Metroid Other M. You remember the Mother M?
Yes, that's actually a good call out. Good, yeah.
So that was a Metroid that came that got announced. Which me being a fan of
I was interested. Like, I was really excited for that one too. Believe it or not, before it came out, yes, I was excited for that one. Yeah,
and I want to say it was a collaboration with Team Ninja.
Yes, yes, it was.
Right. So, and whatever I think, Team Ninja, I remember Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, those games. So I'm like automatically like super stoked about the possibilities of what they could possibly do with the Metroid franchise. So the problem with Metroid Other M was that the game was hot garbage. It had horrible controls.
Okay.
It had I
never actually played it. You played it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It had a knuckle to completion.
Of course.
I couldn't care less, at some point. But the rest that I didn't get, I got through seeing the rest because I wanted to see like where was this going, because it was a stupid idea. First of all, Samus Aran, you're already a badass bounty hunter, right? So why do you need to ask permission to a captain of yours for some reason? This is what happened when you try to to shove lore into something that does not need it. Why would
Halo
a bounty hunter have? Huh?
Halo says hello.
Oh yeah, hi Halo. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Why do you try to cram? What was Samus Aran has a commanding officer in charge of her weaponry? Like, she doesn't acquire her powers like on any other Metroid game. She already has them all, but she's not allowed to use them. Okay, she's not allowed because she's a woman. She needs to be told what to do, right? That's the imagery that they want, that Nintendo wants us to conjure here. You know, she needs to be told what to do, which is
What Ninja
fucking
Theory
stupid.
wants to
Ninja Theory.
yeah, wants
Or
to
was it
conjure.
Ninja Theory? Or was it Ninja Theory? Or was it? It was. I don't think it was Ninja Theory. I think it was. Wasn't
Team
it?
Ninja. I'm sorry.
Team Ninja.
Team Ninja. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Team Ninja.
That's what I meant. Not Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory is owned
Yeah,
by
yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah. Yeah, but when I say Nintendo, I mean like Nintendo looked at this and gave it a pass. So they're not without fault, you know.
No, they're not.
So anyway, on top of that, it had a stupid, overly emotional story, like I said, Samus supposed to be a badass bounty hunter, but instead she comes out as this like insultingly bad woman from like what it's almost like the most misogynistic asshole stereotype a person will imagine a woman being. And for fucking Samus, you know. Oh, by the way, this is the first time we never heard Samus' voice. It was always a silent character.
Just the occasional outcry. Yeah.
Yeah, she died. It was scary as hell. But no, it's fully voice acted. And this one, on the box it said fully voiced cutscenes. That was a feature, by the way. It says fully voiced cutscenes.
This is 10 years ago, bro. Come on now.
Yeah,
and it's also Nintendo. So.
It was 10 years ago, but by the time that this came, like Metal Gear Solid had already been out, and a bunch of games that have voice were out. They get so they who do they hire for the voice of Samus? A total newbie that has had no other experience on voice acting, or at least none mentionable, like that could be mentioned. As of right now, I checked her IMDb, and she's credited with 2 things. One of them was Metroid, the other one was, I don't know, another game maybe. That was it. So congratulations. This game is fully voiced like movies have been since 1930s.
Oh my god. I remember being interested in this, and luckily I didn't do anything crazy and pre-order.
I think I spent money on this actually.
You must have, because that's how Nintendo does. So
yeah,
there's no way you didn't.
I didn't rent it, or I didn't. Or
I'm glad I waited for the record. But what was the console that came out? Was that a Wii? Was it the Wii? It was a Wii.
I think it was the Wii. Yeah,
it would have been the Wii. Yeah. I'm still morbidly curious, believe it or not, because it's like, well, now to be fair, you mentioned that she always
she can refer to Metro the baby.
Oh,
the baby. Yeah. It's like
to be fair, yes, she always has all her abilities and stuff like that, but in every Metroid game, at the very beginning, she always loses it. Yeah, and now you have to go fucking yeah. That's about the most silliest thing of the series is like, can you hold on to your shit, please? And here I think what it sounds like is they went a whole different route. It's like, we're gonna give it to you, but it's gonna be held back by your captain. Yes. And that's awful. That's pretty awful.
It's terrible. This whole story is so bad. It's like, what are you guys doing here? Why would this greenlit? Sorry, we're spending too much time on just one of them, but I just it needed special mention.
For me, I guess I'm gonna basically throw it on to
special mention because of it was Metroid. We got Metroid Dread, which you're right, it's not immune from being shit. And it could be.
I mean, it could be, and I hope not. For the record, I hope not.
No, I hope not.
But it could be. You never know. So I'm just gonna, I am gonna go with the elephant in the room, sir, because I think it just has to be said, bro. And we all know how wonderful it was to play some music on Wii Music. After seeing what had to be probably the most god awful presentation at an E3 event. I think this particular E3 event and this particular presentation single-handedly created the Nintendo Direct. You know what I mean?
I think that was it. Yeah,
I
this
think
this
so.
was
Yeah.
the one where they say, guys, it's it's not it's not good for corporate people to be shown
It's like, oh
dancing
god.
and playing instruments and even poor. I mean, God bless him. Shigeru Miyamoto,
Shigeru, yeah.
Miyamoto-san. He is there on stage, and he's just, it looks so sad, when he's playing, or he was probably enjoying it, but the whole thing came out looking so sad when he was playing the made up what was it, saxophone, trumpet?
It was a flute or some shit. I don't know what he was doing. It was doing something embarrassing, is what he was doing.
Embarrassing, yeah. Cringy.
It was a horrible showing. However, believe it or not, it actually did pretty well when it came to the sales, selling, or not pretty well, but decent, 4 million units in the end. But I think it was pretty obvious that that was just not a good showing.
That's not high numbers for the number of
Nintendo
Switches that were there. Yeah, the number of Switches that were out there. Oh, Wii, sorry, the of Wii's that were out there.
They finished at over 100 million by the end. So no, it's not exactly. It's not for a first party. Definitely not. So yeah, Wii Music has to be thrown out there, and I never tried this, and never will, for the record.
No.
But I never tried this, but I remember going like in the first few seconds of it, and going, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. And then it just went on and on. It's just like, this is, guys, get off the stage. You know that cane that usually comes out from the backstage that takes somebody off the stage. Like, please, somebody grab me, Shigeru, please. Thank you.
No, but it was, I mean, as cringy as that was, it couldn't have been worse than having like the rest of the Imagineering playing a rendition, a horrible rendition.
Yeah, it did not sound good.
The Super Mario Bros. Theme, and also the selection of music on this game is fucking abysmal. Like really, you gonna make a game about playing music? You gonna have me play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Like, that's the game?
Who the hell?
That is
literally, yeah.
Like those are the songs that are here. Everything of the fucking public domain bullshit, and some Nintendo music,
well, there's obviously a reason behind that, and I think that's a hidden reason why music games in general are difficult and expensive, and that's licensing. You can't do it without getting the license for it, and Nintendo's notoriously, I don't want to say cheap, but frugal, if you will, when it comes to expenditures. And yeah, that was not going to happen. So that's why we ended up with Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars.
Twinkle, Little Star.
No one owns that, technically.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
the birthday, the happy birthday song,
the happy birthday
probably
song.
The stuff like that. It is
stupid.
It's the reason why this, and also no structure whatsoever in this game. There's no campaign, nothing to strive for. It's like you play the music whichever way you want, because, oh, by the way, there's no right way of playing it. You can just be like fucking like shaking the Wii mode like maracas, and it'll still make some sort of sound. And then at the end, you get to rate yourself. So the game
not
doesn't
even
give
giving
you a
score. Yeah.
No, you put yourself whatever you think. It's like, oh no, guys, come on, Nintendo.
It is, honestly, it was the immediate, creation after what's the one before that? Wii Sports, and the one that came with a controller that also had just like these mini games, and that's what this was. That's all it was.
I think that's what they realized. They realized this is a console is striving about, people love doing the Wii Sports, with they're probably hitting themselves in the face like, why didn't we just sell this separate? No, actually, that's not true. I think it was very smart to bundle it, because it showed everybody. You know, that's why people had people buy the damn thing in the
console.
first place.
Yep. Mhm.
So
I can tell you right now, we still play. Pun intended. We still play tennis. My wife and I.
and
Wii Tennis, which is part of the Wii Sports thing that came with the fucking thing. It's like it's the game that I go back to. That I think we go back to more often than anything else.
more than
And it's just like, it's fun. It's silly. It doesn't take much, and honestly, man, it gets you a little sweat going. Although you don't have to. Technically, you could just be sitting doing it.
You're gonna be sitting,
But no, we go through the motions. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Wii Music was.
That's the problem. So that was the thing they realized that aside from waggling for sports and then I feel like there was another I want to say it was called We Play. Was We Play something?
Yeah, We Play.
Play was a
that
game.
Was the one that came with it came with the extra remote, which sold ridiculously. That game was the hottest selling game, but only because it came with a remote.
Because it came with a controller.
You know what I mean?
Price, exactly. Yeah. So, but they still put it as a game. Yeah, exactly. If you need another Wiimote, but Wiimote Plus, I think that came out with the Wiimote Plus. Anyway,
yeah.
The next step on the well, let's make this controller. Since people are imagining things, doing things with the controller, let's pretend making music with it. And in concept, like the idea sounded. Like it was a good idea. It was a sound idea.
Yeah.
It was
nice.
It made sense. It's just the execution of it was abysmal.
No. Yeah, it didn't work well.
No,
like you said, there's no music selection. It was just god awful. It was literally god awful, and they were trying to sell it as a game. And it was just like, yeah.
I have another experiment that I think was kind of abysmal. That maybe not so, but I still think that this is like, what the hell, Nintendo, you have lost your mind. And that, my friends, is Labo. Remember?
Labo, yes. Well done, Labo.
Sir,
wow.
I cannot express more displeasure about this thing that was announced. First of all, it was announced the way it was announced, or at least the way the gaming media perceived it. At first, it was like Nintendo is about to unveil something huge. I mean, fucking vitality sensor is finally coming out or something. I don't know. It's like, this is gonna be massive, guys. This is gonna be. You can play with cardboard boxes now.
That costs shitloads of money.
And we're going to charge you $60 for cardboard. The stuff that you recycle every day. Hopefully you are recycling, yeah, we're going to actually charge you for that. We're going to pre-cut some of these items, and everybody gets to make the exact same fucking thing. Gets to have fun putting it together. I'm not saying that you can have fun. By the way, I mean, you could have also gone to Michael's and buy something.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are some sets and stuff. They have actually these mail order things, very similar to like Loot Crate and all this stuff, that have those type of sets that you order it, and they're made for when you have younger kids, not babies, but younger kids. So you'll get one, and everybody gathers together, and you all put it together with it, and it's usually cardboard or something like that, and it's just meant to get the brain flowing with how to put this together and all that. So it wasn't without. The idea wasn't without merit. You know what I mean? They made a lot of sense. Just not for video games. And yeah, on top of that,
took the merit.
The price was out of this world. I was like, guys, that mail order thing comes with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And it's a fraction of this. So,
but can you put a Wiimote on it and make it like vibrate and
look because like the other ones are meant for imagination. I'm just saying.
Okay, no, we're talking about technology here, sir. So we're gonna build a something that kind of like hovers when the remote vibrate. We're gonna make a house that you can like pull and twist and turn things around like a freaking bop it, except you're not bobbing it. And let's see, what was the other thing you could do? Well, you can't do the robot because the robot is a separate labo. You need to spend $60 for that other one, or $70. I think that was the one. But the variety pack allows you to make a piano, an actual working piano, which was great for like the half hour that it probably took you to put it together, and then try playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star maybe, and then that was it. And that was the problem. Once you were done, like the experience, I don't doubt that the experience was novel and cool to have, and you put it together and that's it. But once you're done building it, there's not taking it apart like Legos or inventing something different or putting something on a different way, letting your imagination fly or anything like that. There's none of that because you will be stuck with whatever you built. If you try to take it apart, well, what else can you do with the cardboard? It's not like you can do any other shapes. They're pre-cut to a specific way. Yep. So a piano will always be a piano.
Single purpose, yep.
Yeah, exactly. And once you're done with it, it's just paper or cardboard occupying space somewhere in your house. I mean, it might as well be considered kindling,
Yeah.
It's such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea. And I'm sorry. I know people, people are gonna hate on me for thinking it's a bad idea. Some people say like, "Oh, it's novel and it was great and it was fun." But again,
I think the idea had merit for sure, but the price was significantly out of range for what they were trying to do. And in the end, it was for a big market because let's be real, Nintendo's always going to be marketing to the younger audience because that's where their money comes from, believe it or not. So I think the idea was there. I just don't think it was fully thought through. It's like, okay, think about 6 months after release, a year after release. What does that look like? Where are those cardboard boxes now? You know what I mean?
I don't think they care about that part. I think the genius of it is they thought by the time they realize it's too late, they already opened it and used it, and there's no trading for this. So we made the perfect game with the perfect DRM.
It's genius.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're not gonna care about the space that it takes or anything like that. They're gonna care of like, well, when they get bored of doing the fishing rod again, they'll just probably buy the other variety. Oh, by the way, we only made 4 of them. The variety pack, the robot kit, the vehicle kit, which I never saw, and a VR kit that I remember hearing about, and I think it might have been out also, but like I don't remember it because, come on, by that time I think people and parents also might have realized, like, wait a minute, they're jacking me up for $60 for cardboard for the trash. What the hell?
You would assume that it would be something they figured, but I guess they didn't. So.
Fuck Labo, man.
We're gonna go far back for this next one here, sir. We're gonna go back into time.
Gonna take you back to the past.
The Virtual Boy's entire library, I guess, is really the way to go with it. I think the Virtual Boy itself was a flop. So pretty much every game that came from it.
The migraine inducer 5000, otherwise known as the Virtual Boy, was definitely a flop.
Yeah,
I don't think that
migraine inducing is the word, my friend. I remember actually trying this out at a Nobody Beats the Wiz, which is an electronic store that hasn't existed in decades at this point. Yep. But we were at Nobody Beats the Wiz and had to give it a shot. And it just was not. This was not virtual anything. It was like it was playing tricks with your eyes to make you think things were happening, but it's like, this is hurting. Like
Yeah.
this physically hurts, guys. Yeah, and obviously it came. I think it was stock with Mario Tennis, which again is another fun.
They only made like 20 games for it, if I remember correctly. It might have been less, but they were
Probably. The
yeah, they were
Virtual Boy
very
itself only sold about 700,000 units, so never even made it to a million.
well. Not only not only it was like the games were incredibly ugly and black and red, but also the way you play them, it made no sense. It had a tripod,
Yeah,
and on top of that
stand.
tripod,
Yeah,
it had that tripod stand. It had the goggles that you will lean in to
yeah. You couldn't
play.
go anywhere with that. I was like, this is not portable at
No,
all.
no.
And
The Nintendo Power
the,
showed a kid laying down on the grass with the Virtual Boy strapped to his head, but except that it wasn't strapped or anything. It was just like there. Like if he moved his head a little bit, that thing will fall.
the problem was they were trying to. So remember, just to play off the name, the Game Boy, right? The Game
Mhm.
Boy was, oh, hey, that's the, and props to the Game Boy because hell yeah, that shit was a fucking genius move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was portable. So
Yeah.
with the name Virtual Boy, you go, oh, so this is virtual and portable, right? Because you just kind of put two together. No, it's not portable at
This
all.
was
Yeah, this is not that work. You still need a setup, or sit down, or you need to be
Yeah.
somewhere specifically in order to do it. And dude, I can't express how you're right. It was painful to play.
it was
I mean, it was interesting. It's one of the things. It's interesting at first, and you're like, "Well, this is interesting that this looks this way." I wonder how they do it. It didn't control very well, from what I remember either. But,
Mhm.
and then on top of that, like I said, when you pull away, suddenly you're seeing weird shapes and shit. It's like this
Yeah.
can't be good for your eyes. Cannot
Yes.
be good for your eyes.
That thing will
Yeah, Virtual
plug
Boy
up your
was
brain.
probably one of the biggest major flop because there was hardware involved there too, and that's got to be a loss, a huge loss. So,
Nintendo saw this like, wait, we can make a portable and we can make it 3D. This is genius. Let's call it Virtual Boy. And then the Virtual Boy flopped, of course. And but that didn't deter them though. That didn't deter them. They still wanted.
Gunpei Yokoi was the that's what I was trying to remember his name because I never forget watching. Remember G4 TV? I never forget watching Icons, and Gunpei Yokoi was the creator of the Game Boy, who was obviously celebrated forever. He's also the creator of the Virtual Boy, and suddenly he got Windows seated, which is a shame because he obviously did a lot of good before that. But I always remember that name. Always remember that name, Gunpei Yokoi.
Well, thank you for destroying my segue with
sorry.
piece of
Trivia
of history. But I was gonna say that Nintendo. Oh well, what the hell? We'll go ahead and say it. This one pains me, but the Nintendo 3DS was a wonderful system. I love every bit. It's my favorite DS that was ever made. I will go as far to say I even liked it more than the Switch. But the Nintendo DS, the Nintendo 3DS did not do well. It did fine, but it did not got anywhere near close to the sales of the Nintendo DS.
Oh, the
which
one
had done. Yeah.
Like
it
Mega
was
Sales, I
doing
think that's
gangbusters.
probably if you were to throw that into console market, it'd probably be the number one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's I'm gonna say. I want to say the reason this one pains me is because the Nintendo 3DS is probably one of my favorite Nintendo hardware that they've made.
Really?
I thought I get it. The effect was not practical. It's probably not healthy for your eyes, but the fact that they were able to produce games with the 3D effect that they did, when done right, it was magic. That shit was magic. And I feel like I don't know why a lot of like a few people like they were very impressed with it. I remember that presentation, that E3 presentation, like people were like, "Wow," but a lot of the media were also like, "No, this doesn't work." And I think the problem is because it didn't work for everyone. Like you had to have a certain set of eyes, I guess, or be able to like the 3D effect did not work for everyone, and that's why a lot of people did not like it. A lot of people find it painful and just shut it off. And to be honest, playing a game for a long period of time with that, it was too much. So yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah,
I love the
I
I
can
love
see.
my 3DS.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also let me play all the DS games, my collection. So all 5 of them.
Oh, nice. You had 5 games. Okay. This one's another blast for the past, and I'm gonna close it out with this one here. Because there's a few games that I wanted to throw out there, but they were okay, just not great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call them bombas, but this was a bomba. Sir, do you recall the Nintendo 64's disk drive? And,
No, the
DD?
Nintendo DD,
DD?
the double D,
The double D.
the Nintendo double D. Oh no, I
Yes.
missed out on the double D.
Yes.
I wish I didn't.
I bet you don't. Yeah, so it was an expansion, essentially, to the Nintendo 64, similar to what the Japan's Famicom disk system had done for the original Famicom in Japan. So basically, it boosts storage space and memory, and it allowed for more advanced gaming and stuff like that. The DD was promised to do the same thing. It was announced in 1995, somewhere around there, but it didn't actually come out to about 4 years later. And unfortunately, by that point, no one even cared. People were moving on. Even Nintendo, I think, a year and a half later or so, was already on the GameCube.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. The game
yeah.
was already there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it only ended up selling about 1,500 units, 15,000 units, excuse me, 15,000 units. And there were 60 titles that were announced for it, but only about 10 came out. So that right there, my friend, if you can find one of those, I think they are significantly expensive now because it's
I
it's
bet
like
that
a
was so
collector
rare.
item. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but I remember being excited for that. I was just like, yeah, because I mean know about the Famicom, but obviously the fucking Nintendo, Super Nintendo didn't have that. The fucking
Man,
DD.
I don't remember any. Like I don't.
Nothing about
I
the
don't-
DD.
No, bro. Not even the Nintendo 64. I discovered when I moved to Orlando. That's when I discovered Nintendo 64. Like all of that, just kind of like, and it was because by that time I already own a PlayStation 5. Oh, PlayStation 5, PlayStation, the original, the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
Me
was all
too.
about that, bro.
But I had a 64. So I was like, okay.
I didn't have- I
So
didn't-
the 64, because the whole deal was I had gotten the 64.
I had a Sega CD. That's why.
So you were in your
I'm
own
not
mess,
proud when I
basically,
say
yeah.
that.
So I had the 64, and I remember getting it, and I had got Pilot Wings and Super Mario 64 were like my first 2 games. I think Pilot Wings came with it, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But the game, it was revolutionary for its time and all that. And so, but then the PlayStation came out shortly thereafter, and with less, because technically it was only a 32-bit system, it was doing more, and it had a library. Oh, by the way, it also had Final Fantasy VII. But on top of that, it was just doing more. So I quickly, at some point, had both consoles, and quickly realized I was not using that. But I wanted, they mentioned the 64 DD, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So we got something coming to maybe throw Nintendo back, because I was a Nintendo kid, for the record,
Yeah.
for the longest time, and I didn't feel horrible about going to PlayStation, because I really just wanted Final Fantasy VII. But at the same time, I felt like, man, these guys are falling off. They're not doing what they used to do. The 64 DD was going to be doing, and then never heard about it. Like, I completely forgot. And my Nintendo 64, I think I ended up, I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I at that point I was on PlayStation 2, I think, at that point. And
Wow.
and then the DD came out. At that point, I was like, who gives a shit anymore? I don't even have that fucking console anymore.
You know when I heard about the DD? When I was doing research for this today.
Really?
I
wow.
yes,
Like, wait,
never
you
knew
never
that was an
heard of it before
Nope.
that?
Nope.
Damn. Okay.
The only reason I thought, even when I researched, I thought that was a Japan
A
only.
myth?
That's a myth. Yes, this was the NES PlayStation. Yes.
A myth. I love it. I mean, yeah. And you know what? I think when you say that, I think it was only released in Japan. So that's what the
Oh,
other
there
thing.
you
It
go.
was
That's
finally,
why,
yeah,
yeah.
it finally came out, and it was only released in Japan. So it never even made it over here. But it didn't
Yeah.
matter at that point. I didn't even have my 64 anymore at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
even if you were to release it over here. So
Yeah. Real quick, because we need to close up now. But I just wanted to throw real quick, we didn't forget about you, Wii U, and your stupid marketing.
Yeah.
you were horrible, and you were a bad system.
Yeah.
Also,
Star Fox Zero. That's a Wii U game, which is
there
shit.
you go.
Yeah.
Also, Nintendo, you done fucked up big time when you skipped on Sony and went to Philips for your 3D. That was the worst mistake you have ever done in your entire life, and we thank you for it. And and Super Mario and the Super Mario Bros. Film, never forget.
Oh,
Never forget.
dude! But did you hear about the director's cut that has like 20 to 30 minutes of footage that wasn't in the original? Oh,
Kill it,
dude!
kill it with fire.
You don't know what you're missing. I got about halfway. I'm not gonna lie. I got about halfway. I think we talked about this recently in the podcast. I got about halfway, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this to myself anymore." I just can't.
Cyber said it best. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, guys. Well, that is our quick wrap up of some Nintendo Bombas. And again, they're few and far between. Respect Nintendo. I mean, if we were looking at percentages, they would probably have the best batting average compared to the other two. You know,
Oh yeah, no, we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
We
For sure.
It was hard to bring and I know there's more, but like I
There's
said,
a few more, but again, there's some.
These are the ones
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Even like I said, I mean, Star Fox Zero, yeah, it was shit. But it was okay, you know. It wasn't shit, you know what I mean. It was all right. But anyway, thanks for
Castlevania on Nintendo 64. I mean, that was bullshit.
which one?
Castlevania 64.
Castlevania 64. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
shit.
crap. Yeah, that was definitely crap. But that's Konami, so that's not
Oh,
really.
there you go. That's
Nintendo.
right.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
but I hear you. It feels like it.
feels
You know,
like it, yeah.
you were insulted, and all you saw was a Nintendo name. You know,
Exactly.
So, anyway, thanks again for tuning in, guys. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off for this week, saying, "Praise the sun." Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
I'm not gonna join your Will Solar's cult, but I will say
You say
that
that now, but you never know.
I'm just gonna say that the Nintendo 64's game controller was the most horrible prophecy that has ever been put to humankind, and the destruction of mankind is that controller. Fuck that controller. That controller can die, and I'm glad it did.
You think that's bad? You should see the Jaguar controller. I mean, that's, you know.
I will take the Jaguar controller over.
No, you
Nintendo
will not. Stop
yes,
it.
I will. Yes, it has a
No,
game.
you will
I can use
not.
it as a calculator.
Yes. So you need to look away from the screen. So look down and start making calculations.
Hey,
Good.
whatever.
Hopefully-
I can play Aliens versus Predator on the Atari Jaguar. So
Yeah, but
there you
nobody
go.
wants to do that. Let's be real here. let's just
It was the
call
only
it.
good game. And Tempest.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Oh.
GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock. the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.